is suggested.
22-5 overall, 9-3 in Sunshine State Conference play. At guard, a 5'11 junior from Key West, number 5, Michael Dean. At guard, a 6'3 senior from Demarest, New Jersey, number 15, John Buckley. At forward, a 6'4 senior from Demarest, New Jersey, number 21, Bill Buckley. At forward, a 6'7 junior from Pompano Beach, number 32, Donnelly Tyrell. And at center, a 6'7 senior from West Palm Beach, number 42, Chris Kearney. The Moccasins are coached by George Schultz.
The starting lineups for both teams, and a look at the coaches. And you'll see on the left, Dave Reed, Tom Folliard is taking things lying down, and George Schultz on the right in his 7th year, very successful, the Jackson University alum.
Well, I tell you, you really got on this court 4 of the premier coaches in Division II, and 2 certainly in this ball game as you look at the officials, Ken Sussman, Bill Champion, and Joe Caseri. George Schultz, 7th year, has won 75% of his games, 84% against Division II ball clubs. And of course, Tom Folliard in his 5th year, 75 and 60. And you're right, he'll be leaning back in this one.
The last meeting between the two, won by the Moccasins of Florida Southern. They have been very successful in this tournament. They have won it in each of the last 3 years. They have been to the NCAA tournament 7 of the last 8. We'll remind you that FIT has never won in the Sunshine State Conference playoffs. A big opportunity tonight. And the opening tap is taken by Florida Southern. And you see the first of 2 twins in John Buckley. His identical brother Bill plays at a forward position. Donnelly Terrell travels to open the game. The classic matchup, Dave, of youth versus tradition and experience.
Well, you're absolutely right there. FIT, a program that 5 years ago was really on a downswing. Tom Folliard came in, and in that 5 years has really turned the program around. As we told you, they've won 20-plus games the last 2 years. They haven't made it in the tournament.
A nice bounce pass finds Ashley Smith, the 6'2 sophomore, and one of 4 separate fellas from Montreal from FIT, and he puts it in the net. Like any good Montrealer would, who wears Le Bleu, Le Blanc, Le Rouge, with the red, white, and blue.
Interesting story about how the Canadians got here to FIT. We'll tell you here in a minute.
Bill Buckley on the run, misses, and this is Folliard across the timeline. The coach's son, obviously, Kevin, the senior, the lone senior starter for FIT. Ashley Smith scored a moment ago from the right side. Folliard is not a threat to shoot the basketball. Garfield Glasgow, no shot. And a fresh dribble for Folliard.
Father Tom Folliard, I was talking to him the other day. He says, you're right, he doesn't shoot very well. Kind of unusual for a coach's son, which he readily admitted.
Terrell giving Glasgow fits for George Schultz Mocs. Folliard averages just a bucket a game, the senior. This is Kelly. Off the glass, but still good. 4-0 for FIT.
Well, Devon Kelly was first-team all-conference last year, and you'll see him do that a lot tonight. They love to set the picks out high for him and let him penetrate into the lane.
John Buckley bounces for Terrell, and it's tapped out of play. Nice defense by the Panthers.
Florida Southern loves to go inside. They led the entire league in field goal percentage last year. Also led the league in scoring. Reason for it is they run the fast break so well, and secondly, they get the ball inside so well.
The foul is whistled on Bill Buckley, number 21. Up top, away from the basketball, whistled by official Ken Sussman. That's the first foul this evening.
Foul trouble will play a part in this ball game. FIT is not a particularly deep ball club. They'll go about 7 deep. Florida Southern, you'll see no less than 10 guys on the court for them tonight.
The penetration by Folliard, he can't get it to fall. And the foul is on FIT, and the big guy inside in Walton.
Well, you see Folliard coming in, and Walton unquestionably over the back of Bill Buckley there. That's an obvious foul.
Both teams with a foul apiece.
Dwight Walton said that Bill Buckley was holding him, and we didn't see it there.
A man-to-man look by the Panthers on Florida Southern. And the bounce by Dean finds Bill Buckley. And he is fouled. And it's Walton quickly picking up his second.
Well, this is big trouble right here. Walton really is a very quick guy, but he really doesn't have any business out there trying to pick up Bill Buckley at the 10-12 foot mark. He gets called for the block, and now he's got 2 big personal fouls. That does not bode well for FIT.
FIT is so inside-oriented, you can't lose your top scorer at 19.5 points a night.
They don't shoot well from the outside.
Nice feed from Dean to Donnelly Terrell for the layup. The first 2 for Florida Southern, and it takes them 2.5 minutes to get on the board. It's not playing like a team that's used to this tournament pressure, Dave.
What's unusual about this league is you'll find that the teams that play, when they play outside the conference, you get a lot of high-scoring ball games.
Walton very nearly had his 3rd foul. Instead, it results in his first bucket, and it's a 6-2 ball game.
You're right, it was real close, but to continue the story, these teams play well against non-conference opposition. 90-plus point games are not unusual. Within the conference, this is a defensive league, particularly among the 4 teams in this tournament. You're not going to see defensive intensity like this anywhere in the country.
The reaching foul committed by Folliard on the quicker Dean.
Well, you're absolutely right. Mike Dean gets Folliard out of position, and Folliard just not a smart foul at all, trying to get him from behind, and whether you touch him or not, the officials are going to call that one.
FIT is 3 of 4 to open this game. Florida Southern 1 of 2, now 1 of 3. And the rebound taken by the Panthers. In transition, Walton cannot hold the bounce pass by Kelly, and it was kicked out of play by the Mocs of Florida Southern.
There's no lack for enthusiasm here. The folks that watch Sunshine State Conference basketball follow it and follow it religiously. Good feet underneath. Walton got lucky, I think.
Kelly, the Washington, D.C. junior, guarded by Dean. This is Walton playing with 2 fouls. Folliard. On the move, Kelly. And Ashley Smith with the ball stolen away. Driving is Bill Buckley. And is fouled. Fouled by Folliard.
Well, now you got 2 guys in foul trouble. You got Walton with 2, and now Folliard with his 2nd personal foul. Folliard was set, but Buckley was already in the air. You got to give the guy a step, and it's personal number 2 on Folliard, so FIT in some trouble already.
Look at the speed of Bill Buckley. And he never broke stride driving to the hole.
George, excuse me, Tom, or Paul. Get it right in a minute. Bill Buckley and John Buckley, George Schultz was telling me earlier that although you got guys like Carney and Tyrell and Dean on your ball club, he says that the Buckleys are as good athletes as he has on this team. They both are just excellent all-around athletes. They were both 3 sports stars in high school, and he says both of them have the best dunking technique on the team.
Bill Buckley struggles to shoot free throws, and leading by 4. This is Walton to make it a 6-point game. With the jam, the 6'5 sophomore, and this is a surprise, Dave, at 8-2.
Well, it's also good for FIT because they were very concerned when they lost their game to Florida Southern this year is because Southern jumped out to a very early lead as you see the turnover.
Kelly on the breakaway, and it's a 10-2 game. We did not expect this. And neither did Florida Southern. Back-to-back jams have them up by 8. They are playing transition basketball and playing defensively well. Dean on the move.
Well, that's vintage Mike Dean right there, averaging 16 points a ball game.
And an opportunity to score back-to-back goals as he works on Folliard.
Getting back to what we were talking about earlier, when Southern beat FIT this year, the reason they beat them is because they jumped out to the early lead. They were up 11. They shot 76% from the field in their first half. And Tom Folliard says we cannot afford to let that happen in this ball game.
We said both teams are inside-oriented. Every goal has come in the paint of the lane in this basketball game. 5 for 6 is FIT to open the night, Dave. You can't shoot much better than that.
Well, as a team, they shoot better than 50%.
Terrell with the steal. Garfield Glasgow fouled it. What a fine defensive play by Donnelly Terrell, the 6'7" junior from Pompano Beach.
Florida Southern is about as sticky a man-to-man defensive team as you will see, and they overplay you so well. Tyrell just does a great job of picking the pocket of Garfield Glasgow, and Glasgow smartly fouled him before he got the 2.
We got 5 minutes gone in this one. The Panthers over to talk to their bedridden coach. They lead by 4. He's got to be pleased. By 5 out of 6 to lead by 4.
Not really unusual, Paul. You're watching the numbers 2 and 3 shooting teams in the nation on the court tonight.
Just the second foul whistled on Florida Southern is charged number 5, Michael Dean. Should take a look at Tom Folliard in his 5th season at FIT and having rebuilt this program.
I talked to him yesterday at home when he was laying flat on his back talking to me over the telephone. He didn't know if he was going to make the game tonight.
The jumper from the left side, perfect by Garfield Glasgow, the sophomore who averages 8, earns his first 2.
Garfield Glasgow is the best shooting forward on the ball club. One of the Montreal connection that we talked about.
Yes, you have Garfield Glasgow, Ashley Smith, and Dwight Walton, the entire FIT front line from Montreal. In fact, Walton played on the Canadian Olympic team.
And was outstanding on that Canadian Olympic team, too.
Ray Proprocki is into the game at guard, replacing Kevin Folliard. Down low, that is Ashley Smith with his first foul, and FIT's reached its limit, Dave.
Officials calling this game pretty tight. That's going to work to the disadvantage of FIT. We mentioned the depth problem. It's not a big problem, but when you play Florida Southern and they play that defensive intensity that they do, they're going to run a lot of guys in at you. And at the tail end of the game, you're going to have a tendency to get tired against the Moccasins.
Dean from Buckley working on Proprocki, the junior from Queens, New York. He shoots over him and connects. Dean took it right at the newcomer to this game and scores.
Well, Michael Dean, 14th leading scorer in the nation again 2 years ago at St. Thomas. Just a great one-on-one player.
Proprocki, top of the key, drives, fires outside the arc, and Kelly is short from three-point range. It's tapped out to Dean. The great feed for the layup by Terrell.
Ah, that's just a great fast break. Credit John Buckley. He could have taken the ball back here in the backcourt. Wisely knocked it down court to Dean, who found Tyrell.
Terrell from Dean pulls Florida Southern within 2. Proprocki outside the three-point strike. It will not go in. Rebounded, however, by the Panthers. There's a big board there for Florida Southern. Once down by 8, Dave, is back within a hoop.
Well, Florida Southern rarely gets down for too long against anybody.
Kelly with the foul. Devon on the charge, the junior. Into the game, that's Mike Smith, the 6'4" freshman, and he too is from, as you see, Montreal.
Interesting story behind this. Tom Folliard, as you look at Gene Usry, the assistant coach who's doing the yelling for Tom Folliard. Tom went to Kevin Dunn, who at the time was the assistant coach at St. Bonaventure a couple of years back, and said, Kevin, I need some Division I ball players. You know where they are? And Dunn said, yeah, they're up in Canada. And he found 4 of them, recruited them all down here and brought them down here. And I asked him why, and he said, well, when you're developing a new program in this state with all the great basketball talent, there's just not enough players to go around. So he had to go outside until he develops this program and he gets some notoriety.
Dean with 6, Terrell with 6. We're tied, and here Florida Southern can earn its first lead. Off the turnover. Florida Southern has hit 5 straight to get back into this ball game after connecting on only one of their first 3 shots as George Schultz's team settled down.
Well, FIT is a big, strong club inside. They're a football team, is what Tom Folliard says, and they're not going to be able to run with Florida Southern. You saw evidence of it there.
Out front, Terrell. The lob inside for Carney. And Carney is finally on the board, and it takes him better than 8 minutes to earn that first hoop.
Well, that's not terribly unusual. Teams have a tendency to collapse on Chris Carney and try and keep him away from the basketball. And when he does, you got guys like Tyrell and Mike Dean that take up the slack, and that's what's happened.
10 unanswered for Florida Southern in this ball game to recapture the lead. For Procky. Nearly all thumbs. Ashley Smith. Soft iron for the sophomore. His first bucket, he averages 17 points a night, the fine inside scorer.
Ashley Smith is probably the best post-up player on FIT's team. He's only 6'3", and he went against Carney that time, put it over.
Good power move by Terrell for his 8th point to lead all scorers.
Florida Southern really has 3 potential Division I ball players on their team, and Carney, Michael Dean, and there's Donnelly Tyrell right there.
For Pocky. The jumper, Ashley Smith. Too hard off the hill. Walton is there to put it up and in.
Well, that's what Dwight Walton does so very, very well. He's the leading rebounder in the conference and one of the leading rebounders in the nation, number 19 in the country, and he's particularly good off the offensive board.
The substitution for Florida Southern, Mike O'Rourke, the 6'7" senior from Boca Raton, checks in with a 4 points a game scoring average. Sitting down is Bill Buckley, number 21. We're not at 16 points apiece. Tom Foleyard's demeanor has hardly changed as O'Rourke is spotted underneath and scores. I don't think anyone picked him up, Dave.
Well, Michael O'Rourke has been playing so well the last few ball games. He had 10 against Maine Farmington. Tough, scrappy kid who's been given some quality minutes with George Schultz off the bench in the last month.
Way outside, Propaki can't get it to fall. And the whistle and the foul charge to FIT.
They're going to call Ashley Smith for that one, and now FIT getting in some real foul trouble. Foleyard with 2, Glasgow with 2, Smith with 2. Dwight Walton's also got 2. Take a look at it here as the shot is off from the corner, and Ashley Smith didn't realize that Terrell was behind him and stuck the hand in there.
With FIT over its limit, a bonus opportunity. Well, Sean Fitzmaurice has joined the fray. Michael Dean, the congratulations, sitting down.
If Florida Southern does have a weakness, and it's not a major weakness, it's free throw shooting in this tournament. You got 3 teams, Rollins, FIT, and Tampa, that are just excellent free throw shooting teams. Florida Southern's no slouch at it, but of the 4, they're the worst. They're about in there about 69%. Still not bad.
Carney out, and Derek Flowers, the sophomore, with 5 points a game and 3 rebounds, a contest average, onto the court. Terrell made them both. He's in double figures with 10. It is Florida Southern by 4 at 20-16 with timeout on the court. This one's all we expected it to be. The opening round of the Sunshine State Conference Championship Tournament. An awful lot, aren't they? We told you about March 9th when they play Oklahoma. Try Big Ten Power Michigan in college baseball here on the Sunshine Network. The 11th, live, 1:30, right here on Sunshine. Can you shoot the ball any better than that? One team 9 of 11, the other 8 of 11.
I think you can count on one hand the shots that have been taken from 18 feet or more in this ball game.
Florida Southern committing fewer mistakes too, especially in the foul department. And thus they lead by 4 on a 16-4 run. This was a 12-4 game at one time, FIT. Here's Poprocki. On the point, back in there, number 21, Bill Buckley for Florida Southern. Foleyard. Sewell kicked it on the left side. Smith could not hold on, and here come the Mocs the other way. This is O'Rourke. Joe Dawson. Or rather, Sean Fitzmaurice. The game popping out. Donnelly Terrell with a dozen now, Dave, to lead Florida Southern.
That's just a great set offense. They set the pick low down for Tyrell, spring him up at the free throw line, and he knocks it in.
A 6-point ball game. Walton comes outside, shoots outside. It won't go. The put block falls off 2 by Mike Smith. And it's last touch by Florida Southern. What's Dwight Walton doing outside the arc, gunning from 22?
Well, because he shoots 43% from the three-point line. That's why he's one of the leading shooters in the conference from the three-point stripe. He at 6'5", believe it or not.
That's Mike Smith, the 6'4" freshman, on the rebound. And here is Devon Kelly in. And we say so long for the time being to Perpaki. Kelly had to fight to get that basketball. Florida Southern very aggressive at the moment.
We told you about the defensive intensity. Florida Southern is about as intense as you can get defensively of any team, not only in Division II, but anywhere in the country. They really like to pressure you.
Three-pointer by Kelly will not fall. And Bill Buckley unable to run down the outlet pass fired by Derek Flowers.
Well, although it didn't work that time, we're talking about defensive intensity. Florida Southern likes that because they feel it makes their offense run. If they can overplay it, create the turnover, get the running game going, that's why their field goal percentage is so high at 53%.
Leaving is Dwight Walton. He sits down for the first time tonight. Garfield Glasgow replacing him. Here's Mike Smith to Folliard. Smith with the basketball, guarded by Terrell. The drive by Kelly earns the foul. He started down that lane with a jump and earns the foul on Sean Fitzmaurice reaching in.
Kelly a little bit out of control right here. Fitzmaurice gets him on the arm, and Kelly lucky got a little bit off balance when he made the leap.
Carney re-enters the game, sitting down the guard in Fitzmaurice at 5'9". And here's John Buckley back in, and his brother Bill Buckley departs. You can hardly tell one from the other.
Well, you really can. You got to look at the jersey numbers. They both want to be stockbrokers when they graduate, which they'll do this year. That's one thing we really haven't talked about, Paul. You know, we're talking Division II basketball. All these guys on the court, virtually all of them, are just superior students. And they'll all graduate on time. And that's a big difference between Division II and Division I.
FIT needed both of those Devon Kelly free throws, for they have missed 4 in a row from the field and 5 of their last 6 after hitting 7 of their first 8. They've really cooled off day. It's thrown backcourt by Dean and saved by John Buckley. So the Panthers of FIT will benefit from excellent floor position. Forecourt left side. Down by 4. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Coming up later this evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Tampa and Rollins, right here in the Bob Martinez Sports Center. Great block off the left side. The shot missed by Mike Smith. I believe that was John Buckley that got a piece of it.
No, it was Mike O'Rourke, Paul. O'Rourke did a good job of coming over and giving some help that time and knocked it out of the way.
The Panthers still with the basketball. Sewell off the inbounds. Coming to it, Kelly. Folliard to Garfield Glasgow. It won't fall. Rebounded by John Buckley to Mike Dean. Dean pulled up and nailed it.
Well, that's exactly the style of play that Florida Southern likes. They played solid man-to-man this time down the court. They forced Florida International to take the outside shot, which they're not good at. Got the rebound, got Dean on the outlet pass, and he nailed the 15-footer.
6-point ball game. That's 10 in a row for Florida Southern from the field. The foul is whistled on Donnelly Terrell, who tried to plead his case with the officiating trio. His first foul. Here's how it happened.
Trying to post up on him underneath you see Mike Smith, and Donnelly Terrell might be the quickest player on the court, and he uses that quickness to his advantage. Sometimes he gets away with it. That time he didn't.
Kelly in the corner. Out front Glasgow. Relayed to Folliard. And a holding foul on the high post. Charge to Jason Shin, number 44, the 6'6" sophomore from Lakeland, his first.
Shin gets some quality time in there replacing Tyrell. When he needs a blow, they'll go to Shin. He's a bigger guy than Terrell, nowhere as quick, but he gives you the bulk underneath. He is really going at it under there.
The spin move by Kelly comes off the front of the iron. Shin bounces behind John Buckley, who runs it down. Both teams have played man-to-man defensively to open. Buckley, the great feed. He finds Carney, who scores and is fouled. What a fine feed from John Buckley.
That's vintage John Buckley. George Schultz says that John's having an all-conference year. You just know that he creates that air of steadiness on the court when he's there. He's a quarterback. He knows who's in charge. He leads the team in assists with 154. He's the #2 all-time assist leader in the conference this year.
There's his brother, Bill Buckley. He replaced Mike O'Rourke. And Carney to cap the three-point play. Carney with 5. He averages 19, 27, 18, a 9-point game. So after a slow start, Dave, Florida Southern has taken control of this first half.
Chris Carney's 4th in the nation in field goal percentage at 66%, and large part of it has to do with John and Bill Buckley, who give him the feeds that you saw last time down the court.
The lob down low for Garfield. Glasgow intercepted. John Buckley bouncing to Dean. Dean with 10, and that's 12 straight field goals for Florida Southern. Timeout FIT. They need the timeout, trailing by 11. Back with more in a minute. Tom Folliard's team's got to regroup. Road, Dave. Here is number 12 from the field.
Well, great transition game. John Buckley, yet another assist to Michael Dean on the wing. Florida Southern lighting it up from the field right now.
The best in women's professional tennis. The Virginia Slims, Tuesday, March 14th. Dave will be there at 6 o'clock. And I'll join you Saturday and Sunday for the semifinals and the singles and doubles championships. FIT has missed 7 straight, while the Mocs have nailed those 12 in a row. In fact, they're 12 of 14 from the field.
And I don't believe any of those shots have been from outside the 15-foot range. Most of those points coming off the transition game.
They're just 2 outside the paint. We have less than 6 minutes to go in the first half. And now, Florida Southern, with the lead, Dave, has gone to the zone.
Really, really unusual to see Florida Southern do this. They almost never do it. It's really kind of a matchup zone.
Glasgow missed it. Walton is fouled. Walton needed the board for that Glasgow miss, marked the 8th straight shot by FIT that's been offline.
Chris Carney is doing a great job underneath on Walton. He doesn't pick up Walton this time, however. Jason Shin's in there, and you can bet that Tom Folliard on the bench told his ball club, look, we're an inside team. We've got to get the ball inside to our big guys, Walton and Smith and Glasgow. Let's don't be shooting them from out there at 20 feet.
As Walton steps to the line, that was the 6th team foul on Florida Southern. They're at their limit now. Walton with his 7th point of the night. A veteran of international competition for his native Canada. Made 1 of 2. Dean into the forecourt. You see the time remaining in the first half. The spin move down the lane, and Carney cannot hold on. It's unlike him.
Well, Chris Carney had the open shot, but that's why Chris Carney is a candidate for the Division II Player of the Year. He's got a wide-open 14-foot jump shot. He thought he saw his own teammate down underneath the basket. He's only scored 5 points in the ball game. You know he's got to be a little frustrated from the scoring side, but rather than taking the open shot, he tries to find his teammate.
Devon Kelly carries it into the forecourt for his red-clad Panthers. From Melbourne, Florida, a school of some 5,000 students. Driving the baseline. He changed his shot, did Kelly. And it's rebounded by Florida Southern. Now John Buckley can really play up-tempo. Down low Glasgow, or rather Terrell. This is John Buckley. From 3 it won't go, but the putback good by Carney. The offensive rebound leads to 2, and it's Florida Southern in a big way, 31-19.
Carney, the number 5 rebounder in the conference. You don't leave him open on the offensive boards. Nobody put a body on it.
Folliard. It won't go. And Bill Buckley claims it.
Well, that's not the offense that Tom Folliard wants. He doesn't want his team coming down here, running an offense, taking 5 seconds off the clock, and having his son, who's not a particularly good outside shooter, try one from 3-point range.
This 12-point lead, the largest of the night for Florida Southern, with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Carney shows him the ball, drives down the lane. It comes too hard. Off the glass, Ashley Smith. Half-court, Devon Kelly with the finger roll. Lovely.
Oh, that's the move, isn't it? Now you see why his coach calls him the best guard in the league. Just a super penetrator, went right around Buckley for the right-handed finger roll.
That ended a run of 10 consecutive missed shots by FIT. The bump by Folliard wasn't much, but it came right in front of the official. He couldn't let it go, and Folliard is hit with his 3rd foul, and he'll check out.
Look at the move by Devon Kelly. Junior out of Washington, D.C. Wow. One of the best one-on-one players in the conference. Now you got some real troubles if you're FIT. Folliard wasn't much of a foul. He's got 3 personals right now. He's got to go to the bench, and he's their quarterback.
Jason Shin has left, replaced by Michael Dean, you saw a moment ago. Incidentally, Ray Paprocki on the court for Folliard. John Buckley's free throw would not fall on his first trip to the stripe.
What you lose in that transition, Folliard's a better ball handler. He's a better quarterback. Paprocki, not as good a ball handler, but he's one of the better 3-point shooters on the team, so you gain a little shooting prowess with him in the game.
Ashley Smith cannot get it to fall. A 10-point spread. Dean with the ball in the lead for the Mocs. Terrell kicks it right back out to John Buckley. It won't go from 3. Ashley Smith with the long arms to keep it in play. Walton, it was over his shoulder. This is brother Bill Buckley. The other way, 3-on-2 advantage. Offensive foul.
And that's a good call. Real good call. Paprocki got back. It was a 4-on-2 break. Florida Southern had the numbers. Buckley probably should have dished it off to Tyrell on the wing. Instead, he runs over Paprocki. And Tom Folliard can't afford to get too excited here. He may not walk out of here.
George Schultz, the picture of health, can. Second on Bill. And at the line, the man who paid the price to draw the charge. A guy that is a great defensive player for FIT. He'll get the bonus in his first trip to the stripe. He averages 6.7 points a game. His second on the squad in assists. Well-built youngster.
Yeah, they're going to need his 3-point shooting before this ball game's over, I feel sure. He's going to get a lot of playing time with Folliard on the bench for 3 personals.
The junior made them both, the 1 and the bonus. FIT 5 of 6 is a team from the stripe, and after falling behind by a dozen, Dave, they've pulled it within 8.
They've been doing it by getting the ball inside, and they've done a good job of not allowing Florida Southern to get the fast break running successfully, at least, the last 3 times down the court. They've got it running. They haven't been able to put it in the hoop.
Dean off a screen, works outside the arc, now spins at the free throw line. It won't score. Walton trying to save it, can. Glasgow there. Good defense, Dave. 3 successive trips by FIT.
Michael Dean trying to make something happen right there. He's so quick, and you just can't follow him. He gets a pick, and he's going to really foul you up. He had the mismatch, but couldn't put it in.
John Buckley again, bouncing to Dean. Blocked by Devon Kelly. And they'll whistle Kelly with the foul. Nearly had the clean rejection.
Well, now FIT in some real trouble. Florida Southern again getting the transition game, but FIT getting back a little bit better nowadays. You see Kelly gets him with a body. That's real trouble. He's got his second. I had him with 2 already, but that's only number 2.
John Buckley outshot Fitzmaurice, in the junior college transfer from Palm Beach, Florida. And here's Michael Dean. Short. Mike Smith returns for FIT, and departing is starting center Dwight Walton with 7 points tonight. Here's Kevin Folliard back onto the court. His father utilizing the substitution to freeze Dean at the free throw line, among other reasons.
They're taking a chance right here. Folliard with 3 personal fouls in the ball game. Still 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Dean made 1 of 2 for his 11th point. 2 substitutions. Number 22 is Derek Flowers. On the right side, Mike O'Rourke. And leaving both Dean along with Chris Carney. Those two have combined for 18 in the first half. 18 of the 32 registered by Florida Southern. Paprocki, yes.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to need out of Ray Paprocki. He gives them the outside threat that Folliard doesn't give them. Now, you've got both in the ball game now, and that gives FIT a little bit quicker ball club than they would have normally.
Florida Southern, America's preseason #1. And in the last couple of minutes, they haven't been playing like that. How the 9th-rated Mocs is. The turnover is committed by Donnelly Terrell. I think they got him for 3 seconds.
Yeah, Florida Southern rather standing in the lane a little bit too long that time.
Paprocki, guarded by Bill Buckley. And Sean Fitzmaurice commits the foul. A whistle is blown a number of times in this first half, Dave.
Well, you will find that to be true in this conference, particularly when the teams play each other. Again, the defensive intensity, particularly with the top 4 teams in the conference, is so great. You're going to see a lot of guys in foul trouble.
We have had 18 fouls whistled in the first half alone. It will not fall for Folliard. A costly miss down by 7. Tiny Fitzmaurice off to the much larger O'Rourke, who bounces in the lane, and Flowers cannot score. Paprocki with less than a minute to go. Ashley Smith, inbounded around, will not go in for it. And there is the 19th foul of the first half, and it's charged to Florida Southern.
It's a great block over in the other end. Great position underneath, and out of nowhere comes Garfield Glasgow to reject it. You go down the other way here, and now FIT doing a good job of using the big bodies on the boards. As you see, Glasgow, after blocking the shot, gets down and keeps the ball alive offensively.
O'Rourke with, or rather, Terrell is how it's posted, has his second for Florida Southern. Glasgow hits on his first trip to the stripe this evening. He is a 67% free throw shooter, the sophomore. Coach George Schultz.
Talk about a genuine nice guy. Now that's George Schultz. Give you the shirt off his back, very helpful to anybody who wants to talk to him. And George would not say anything controversial about a housefly.
Just a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the play clock. So the Florida Southern Mocs can work it all the way down and fire the final shot of the first half. A 6-point ball game. The largest lead was Florida Southern's to enjoy, Dave, by a dozen, and FIT led, by my count, by as many as 8 in the first half.
Well, they run the double low post. Now they take it up high, and they go inside to Carney off the high pick.
Carney with his 9th point. An 8-point game. The contact, Paprocki with the offensive foul. He missed the shot. And that will put Florida Southern back on the stripe with just 2 seconds remaining.
Boy, I tell you, that's a big call and absolutely a correct call, as Buckley said, no question about it. And now Florida Southern, they do get one more shot at it with 2 seconds to go. You don't shoot on the player control foul.
They're about to inbound it. The player control foul. It will not be shot. It sails inbounds, intended for Paprocki. Dean gets it up, and it goes in from 3. It's good from 3 at the buzzer. They tried to get it to Chris Carney inside. It was tapped out defensively into the arms of Michael Dean, who nails it.
Michael Dean is just absolutely everywhere. Just picks it up, throws it at the backboard. Bang, 3 points, Michael Dean.
The only three-pointer of the first half.
I want to tell you what, Chris Carney was over the back. And that should have been a foul, I think, on Chris Carney. Mike Smith, the recipient.
Coming up at halftime, Dave and the commissioner of this conference, Bob Vanetta, will also have highlights, including that one again. And the head coach of Rollins, Tom Klusman, maybe along too. Your score at halftime. Florida Southern on that three-pointer by 11 at 37-26.
To a rocky start. As they jumped out, they fell behind early. One of the reasons was that FIT was getting that inside game going to Walton.
Yeah, Walton with the jam, and here is Kelly for FIT. He too can slam it through the hole.
That one off the transition game for FIT, something they don't do that well, but you notice in the beginning of the ball game they got it inside, 8-point lead. Last half of the ball game, they didn't get it inside.
Yeah, they get ahead by 8, and then Florida Southern will go on a run in which they nail 12 straight from the field. An incredible run.
Well, they got the fast break going. As you see, John Buckley here gets it going over to Michael Dean, who find Donnelly Terrell on the wing. At one point, they had hit 12 straight.
John Buckley can really play up-tempo, and I think his pace of this game, the way he took over and started the ball moving for Florida Southern, sparked their comeback.
Well, he's such a control player. He's a quarterback. He's really a coach on the court out there. And George Schultz said, you know, he's having an all-conference year. You got a lot of fine guards in this league, and John Buckley doesn't quite get the recognition that some of them, but boy, he's a first-caliber player.
We talked about him in our pregame show, but Mike Dean, too, complimenting Buckley so well.
Mike Dean can really foul you up in a lot of ways. He's so quick, and if you play zone against him, he can run people into each other, and when you do that, you find people open, and he finds a way to get the ball to them.
Yeah, you take a look at later action in the first half, and here is John Buckley to Dean with the drive.
Buckley gets it off to Dean, and again, that's why the shooting percentages are so good.
Well, it is 37-26 here as the second half gets set to unfold. Dave and I will be back with the action here in game number 1 of this Sunshine State Conference Championship doubleheader, live from Tampa. 14th championship of the Sunshine State Conference Tournament. You see the score from period number 1 here on the campus of the University of Tampa. College basketball coming up, the second half of this doubleheader, the 4th seed. The Rollins College Tars, we visited with their coach a moment ago, against Richard Smith's top-seeded Tampa Spartans. And Dave, that ought to be a good one. Rollins actually beat Tampa about 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, last second shot at the buzzer by Wolf beat him. And that's unusual. In fact, it's funny. As you look down the records of these teams, you got 3 teams that are 22-5, and of those 15 losses, 13 losses have come to conference teams. So these teams don't lose unless they're playing each other and beating up on each other.
Our first half statistics presented by Cellular One. And Dave, look at the field goal percentage for Florida Southern.
Florida Southern led the nation in field goal percentage last year, largely because of their man-to-man defense creating a lot of fast breaks. That's exactly what's happened here in the first half. And you look over that's really the only thing that really jumps out at you. All the shot selections about equal, turnovers are equal, rebounds are equal. It's just a matter of Florida Southern getting the better shots.
Cellular One presenting the halftime stats. When you're the best, word travels. The scoring leaders, Dean and Terrell, combining for 26. 15 from Kelly and Walton for FIT's Panthers. We're underway here in the second half as the little guard and Folliard feeds perfectly underneath to forward Ashley Smith for the first 2 of the second half. That's the 4th point for Smith.
They're going to need to get Ashley Smith back into the offense, as well as Dwight Walton getting that ball inside.
Dean out front to John Buckley, who is brother Bill. And you see the zone for the first time this evening by FIT, trailing as it is 37-28.
FIT a little more diversified in the defensive scheme of things. They would rather play man-to-man.
can't, Dean can't. And FIT with the basketball. In transition, Walton. What a feed from Devon Kelly.
Well, Devon Kelly can penetrate and dish it off. He didn't have to penetrate that time as Walton beat everybody down court. And FIT with 2 quickens to begin the second half. And George Schultz is not a happy guy right now.
Some moisture on the court. The officials stopped play. There was a problem at the other end of the floor, too. As you see, bedridden, or in this case, couch-ridden, Coach Tom Folliard for FIT.
Oh, that's just a great feed by Kelly in there to the big guy, Dwight Walton.
Yeah, at 6'5", the sophomore can really move.
The guy in the stands got some moves, too.
Dean to Carney. Carney loses it. Folliard, the touch pass. Back to Ashley Smith for 2.
That is great transition basketball. They had a 4-on-3 break, and you find the open man on a 4-on-3 break. You've done a good job of running that transition game.
6 straight points for FIT to open the second half. Great defensive play and passing as well.
4 points off of turnovers. There's your 4-on-3 break I was talking about, and they get it over to Ashley Smith over Buckley.
Florida Southern uses its first timeout with this second half less than 90 seconds old. Back with more in a minute. Proud to present great college baseball this Thursday. It's Oklahoma and UCF from Orlando at 7 o'clock live right here on the Sunshine Network. 6 unanswered by FIT in this half, and Florida Southern a little slow again like they were the first half day getting out of the starting gate.
Well, much like the second game they played this year, where around the first game where Florida Southern jumped out to an 11-point lead, and FIT fought back, nearly tied it, but just wasn't able to have enough gas at the end. Here's another turnover.
The steal by Ashley Smith, or rather Devon Kelly, and he has his first 2. And this is a 3-point ball game. 8 unanswered.
Right now, Florida Southern's offense is very, very sluggish, and FIT is doing a great job of overplaying man-to-man defensively.
37-34. That's how big that Dean 3-pointer is, and this Dean 2-pointer backdoor.
And that's how you beat the overplay. If you're overplaying to your left, you let him play you that way. You go backdoor to your right, and that's what Michael Dean did.
The first bucket of the second half by Florida Southern. A 5-point spread. Walton makes his move, shoots from 17, and then it rattles and stays in.
Oh, boy, we really haven't had a chance to talk about him very much tonight, but he is so smooth. He's a guy that's a big guy, big body, 6'5", 230 pounds. He's just as adept outside as he is inside. Terrell was 5 of 5 in the first half, misses here, his first miss of the night, and teammate Michael Dean has his second foul. And the first of this half for Florida Southern as a team. Take another look at it as Tyrell misses this one. Mike Dean goes over the back. No doubt about it, Dwight Walton got him with the body coming over.
Folliard walks it into the forecourt. Folliard from 3. Badly offline. And Walton just threw Bill Buckley out of the lane, and he wonders why he has the foul.
That was a serious box out there.
Watch him go with that elbow.
Yeah, no question about it. He threw it. Buckley acted a little bit as well. I tell you, we saw last week against Tampa, both Buckleys, they play you so tight. I mean, they put the chin right on you. And if you throw the elbow, you're going to hit them and you're going to get the foul.
The man offended, misses the shot. Bill Buckley. Walton, who committed the foul, takes it down. Kelly to Folliard. The Panthers still looking for their first 3-pointer. They're 0 for 7 from 3-point range. And now Michael Dean has the second foul of this half for Florida Southern, and his third.
I got a couple key players in foul trouble now. Walton with 3 and Michael Dean with 3.
Entering Mike O'Rourke, the 6'7" senior, picked up a bucket in the first half, and 5'11" Michael Dean sits down. The inbounds to Kelly from Folliard, and Kelly has his 10th point.
Designed inbounds play, and coming off the bench, Mike O'Rourke got the pick, and Kelly had the easy bucket.
A 1-point ball game. Terrell off to John Buckley. The feed inside, and the travel ruled on Mike O'Rourke.
Well, Florida Southern right now has got a team that matches up well with FIT size-wise. However, with Michael Dean out of the ball game, FIT has the quickness advantage on it. And O'Rourke called for shuffling his feet, and now FIT a chance to take the lead.
Glasgow turns it over as he tries to drive the lane.
And off the bench, Ray Paprocki for FIT saying, don't shuffle your feet, shoot it when you got it out there.
FIT 6 of 7 in the second half, and Carney in great position to register his first bucket of this half, his 11th point this evening, and extend Florida Southern's lead to 3.
Well, Chris Carney, the second all-time leading scorer here at Florida Southern, and it was with his team's lead evaporating, you can look for him to start getting involved here.
Bill Buckley with the reaching foul, number 21. That'll be his 3rd for the senior from Demorest, New Jersey.
Good move in here by Kelly. Just goes right around Buckley, and John got him with a body going in. Or rather, Bill got him with a body going in.
Pick one. If they changed jerseys, I promise you, you would not be able to tell that man Bill from his brother John.
Play-by-play man's dream. When one of them's got the ball, you just say Buckley.
Walton, contact, offensive foul.
Oh, and that's a big one.
That's foul number 4.
That's a real big one, and that call could have gone both ways. Not only do you take away the 2 points, but now you got your big gun with 4 fouls, and you got 15 minutes to go in this ball game.
Michael Dean with 3 fouls returns, sitting down Sean Fitzmaurice. Dean with the long skip pass to John Buckley. What a fine backcourt combination that is, Dean and Buckley. Carney. Walton guarding him with 4 fouls. John with the head fake, free from 15, and it won't stay in. Rebounded Garfield Glasgow for FIT. Devon Kelly, the foul on Carney, trying to make the great play. I'm impressed with the way that big man, even though he committed the foul, got back defensively.
Well, Carney is not overly quick, but he jumps so well. And that time he got back just a little bit late, did get a piece of the ball, but also got a little bit of Devon Kelly.
Unlike Walton, that's only his first, Dave. He's played free of foul trouble. Kelly at the stripe, and FIT in the first half, 6 of 9. Kelly at the stripe for the second time tonight is a perfect 3 of 3 for his 11th point.
Paul, we stand corrected. They did not call the foul on Dwight Walton that time down court. He traveled with the basketball, did not call the charge, so he's got just 3.
A miss by Kelly. Well, thanks, Dave. That is the reason why he stayed in the game. Carney, great move. For a big guy, he's rather agile.
Yes, he is.
Ashley Smith against the zone. Kelly lobs inside Walton over Carney. Short. This may be on Glasgow. Over the back. And it is.
Yeah,
that's
pretty.
Second.
Let's take another look at it. Glasgow looked like from where we were at, went straight up. Let's see how badly over the back it was. Yeah, got Carney coming down, no question.
2 inside-oriented teams continue to bang away at each other. It's a 4-point ball game advantage. The Mocs of Florida Southern. College baseball throughout this spring and summer season right here on the Sunshine Network finds Michigan from the Big Ten and the Knights of UCF having at it Saturday, March 11th, the first pitch of the afternoon, 1:30. Live on Sunshine. Rebounding nearly dead even between FIT and Florida Southern, as are turnovers. The scoreboard reflects it, just a 4-point game. Advantage, second-seeded Florida Southern against third-seed FIT. Carney fouled by Garfield Glasgow on the reach, and that's Garfield's third.
Well, Carney had the open 15-footer and thought about taking it in. Might should have taken that shot. That's an open one, but he got the foul going in. And Carney, instead of getting the open shot, Florida Southern's going to play it in.
The two Buckleys on the court, John and Bill.
There's a real possibility that Chris Carney could be an NBA pick. Going to be a later round pick, obviously, but somebody may be interested in the guy. He's got a big, wide body. Could be a good big forward for somebody.
Dean quickly penetrates, feeds Carney, who uses the pump fake to score. Rather than a pump fake, more of a delay move for his 15th point.
And that's one of the big reasons why Chris Carney's #4 in the nation in field goal percentage.
The 5th point of the evening for Garfield Glasgow, the 6'5 sophomore. He too from Montreal. A 4-point spread still. It was an 11-point game at the half. And another bit of moisture in the forecourt as the ball boy is on to attend.
Bear in mind that FIT this season has beaten Boston College and beaten Massachusetts, and it's been kind of a strange year for FIT. That was the highlight of the year, and Gene Usry, assistant coach at FIT, was telling me after those two victories, the team they haven't played badly, they just kind of coasted since then.
Reverse layup, beautiful by Bill Buckley. 47-41. And now Florida Southern aggressive in the man-to-man. Ashley Smith. Last touch by Carney.
The great thing about Chris Carney is he does so many things so well. There you saw him on the high post. You see Hal Smeltzy, the athletic director at Florida Southern, has got to be happy with the way his team's playing right now. Chris Carney on the high post, not only is he the team's leading scorer and rebounder, he's one of the team leaders in assists and steals.
Garfield Glasgow last touched it for FIT. The intensity throughout this evening has been reflective, Dave, of a conference tournament championship showdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, the intensity in this game typifies the intensity that's been played all year long, as you see Paprocki and Dean coming in. When you play in this conference, you're going to play some defense, and you have got to be intense, or you're going to get killed. This is one of the premier Division II conferences in the nation we're watching here.
They call it the Conference of Champions, as Dean, who hit a three-pointer to end the first half, misses here, and Donnelly Terrell is charged with his third foul. And the 5th team foul whistled against the Mocs. Both teams have been substituting rather liberally. O'Rourke in and Terrell departing.
Yeah, in the second half, George Schultz has primarily gone with about 6 or 7 guys, and so he's going to stay with his top 6 throughout the key parts of this ball game.
Paprocki tapped it out of play when Kelly couldn't hold on to the bounce pass that came from the top of the key. This is John Buckley to walk it across the timeline and right through that Spartan in the center circle here on the Tampa campus. The high-low game, Carney is there right around Walton, hampered with 3 fouls. 17 for Chris Carney, 2 shy of his average. The senior from West Palm, that's correct, West Palm Beach, Florida. A miss by Smith.
Oh, that's great defense by Carney. Got the hand in his face and got the rebound back.
Dean sprinting into the key. It won't fall. The tap miss. O'Rourke can't get it to go in. Walton, outlet. Glasgow over to a driving Kelly for 2.
We talked about what a great penetrator Devon Kelly was, and when he gets a couple of steps, he can sky. And he went right around the man there and laid it off the glass.
Mike Smith reports for duty, the freshman. Sitting down, Garfield Glasgow, the sophomore.
O'Rourke walked with the ball on the follow-up here, but watch Kelly go right around John Buckley and right around Chris Carney.
A 6-point difference between the two. Florida Southern 49, FIT on defense 46, or 43 rather. Dean guarded by Propraki. Propraki took it away. Fires it, it's intercepted by John Buckley. Buckley twice has made outstanding defensive plays in transition. The great blind feed from O'Rourke.
Did you see that assist? I don't think anybody saw that assist except Mike O'Rourke, who is standing there as John Buckley looking somewhere towards Lakeland. Finds Mike O'Rourke under there.
The look away pass. An 8-point ball game for Procky to Walton popping out outside the arc. It will not stay in. The foul on the floor. Bill Buckley committing his 4th. His FIT, Dave, is now 0 for 8 from 3-point range. This is a team that has better than 100 3-pointers this year, and they can't get one to fall tonight.
Just not their night in terms of getting the ball to go. I think it's a function of who's been taking the 3-point shots. Kevin Folliard's taken 3 tonight. He's not known for that. Now Buckley's going to go to the bench with 4 personals. They'll go with the smaller Sean Fitzmaurice.
Propraki working on Fitzmaurice. Goes into the paint and scores. Just penetrated right away on him. 6 for Ray Propraki, the junior. And it's a 6-point ball game, 51-45.
Propraki and Folliard really get almost equal playing time. Maybe not quite equal, but Propraki, as we told you, a little bit better shooter, but in the assist category, nearly Folliard's equal, 116 assists this year.
Dean looks at his coach. And now to run the offense. Got a screen by Carney, goes to the block. Oh, shoots it too strong. Kelly taps it out. Dean, look at Kelly hustle for the basketball, and Fitzmaurice is out of play. Kelly never quit on that basketball, and he earns it for FIT.
Well, that's just great hustle all the way around. O'Rourke hustling on the offensive board. Kelly hustling all the way down the court, and Fitzmaurice jumping on the ball but not able to control it. Michael Dean makes you switch about 5 or 6 times. O'Rourke and Carney keep the ball alive. And here comes Kelly all the way across court. Fitzmaurice takes it and can't quite hang on to it.
As Sean at 5'9" had his left leg on the stripe. A timeout on the court with 9:34 to go in this basketball game. It still, Dave, is really anyone's contest. The number 2 seed, Florida Southern, and the number 3 seed in the Panthers of FIT.
We've got to bear in mind that FIT is one of the few teams to beat Florida Southern regularly. They have won 3 out of the last 4 ball games.
Coming up at 8 o'clock tonight, the league's top seed in the Spartans of Tampa against the Tars from over in Orlando and Rollins College. And those 2 teams earlier this year split, Tampa winning here on its home court. And the Tars taking it, as Dave told you, on a last-second shot a couple of weeks ago in Orlando.
And Rollins might be the best 14 and 13 team in the country.
6-6 in the Sunshine State Conference in the NCAA Division II. Florida Southern has won this tournament in each of the last 3 years. Florida Institute of Technology is 0 for 3 in the conference tourney. Has rarely been here. Experience versus youth. The tradition-rich program of Florida Southern, which has been to the NCAA tournament, Dave, 7 of the last 8 seasons here in this decade of the 80s.
Well, we told you earlier, the seniors on this ball club have been to 2 Final 8s and 1 Final 4. They got a very good shot of making that Final 4 again this year.
The jumper by Mike Smith is perfect.
But I'll tell you what, they're going to have to get by FIT first.
The freshman, averaging 6 points a game, knocks in his first 2 off the bench to make it a 5-point spread. John Buckley over to Jason Shin and back to Buckley, and you see the Panthers in the zone.
Little matchup 2-3 zone out there. They're going to try and force Florida Southern to shoot it from the outside. Put a lot of pressure inside on Chris Carney. Robert Sewell in there on him.
O'Rourke down low to draw contact. The power move, and Mike Smith took him on.
Well, FIT reacts very, very well on the defense. 3 guys converge on Roy, but he just gets behind the defense. Therefore, you got the easy shot on goal.
Mike Smith has his second personal foul. That's Donnelly Terrell checking in for Florida Southern. He replaces Carney. Head coach Tom Folliard talking to his top assistant, Gene Ussery. O'Rourke's first free throw of the game is good. He's now 10 of 15, and this is senior season, the Boca Raton native. He began his career at UNO, signed with them, then played at Brevard College, Community College. Made 1 of 2. A 5-point difference for Procky, guarded by Fitzmaurice. Kelly to Procky. And the foul down low on Jason Shin, the 6'6" sophomore, banging inside. That's his third, Dave.
A lot of action going on underneath here. Shin really going at it underneath with Dwight Walton, and that's, I'm not sure we could see the foul there. It must have occurred before we got to it.
The sophomore in Walton with his second trip to the free throw strike this evening. The Canadian Olympian. Michael Dean playing in pain will return. Fitzmaurice sits down.
You know, the
Dean's
amazing
right hand bothering him.
Excuse me, Paul. You know, the amazing thing about Dwight Walton is not only is he one of the leading scorers in the conference's top rebounder, he's just a sophomore. He's got 2 more years ahead of him.
A 3-point ball game. 8 minutes and 25 seconds away from the finish line. John Buckland cannot get away from Procky. The bounce to Dean to score. A fine pass from the big guy, and Jason Shin to Dean.
Set up Shin on the high post to set the pick on the wing for Michael Dean. He goes backdoor. Nice play.
18 for Dean. Smith to Procky to shoot over Dean. 8 for Procky, the junior. 2 better than his average. And it's a 3-point ball game. You have to re-emphasize, Dave, the importance of Michael Dean's 3-pointers, improbable as it was at the end of the first half. That's a big bucket right now.
That's the difference in the ball game right now.
O'Rourke out high. Shin cannot hold on. He turns it over. Returning is Carney, and he'll replace the man that gave it up in Shin. And FIT, as inexperienced as it is in postseason play, just seems to keep on hanging in there with Florida Southern.
Yeah, but you don't think about FIT. They are inexperienced in postseason play, and on paper they're a very young team. But you got a lot of guys who are freshmen and sophomores on this team, as you see Sewell going in the score, that have a lot of basketball experience. In Canada, you got to bear in mind, you got really 14 years of schooling, and the Canadians here are 21 and 22 years old as freshmen and sophomores.
One of those Canadian freshmen, and Sewell has just scored the layup to make it a 1-point game. Florida Southern with the timeout and the lead. The second half of our exciting Sunshine State Conference Championship doubleheader coming up. In less than an hour, the Tars of Rollins College and the Spartans of Tampa, right here in the Bob Martinez Sports Center by the Bay, the great city of Tampa, where it was absolutely magnificent this afternoon, Dave. Temperatures in the 80s, slight breeze through the falls.
I timed my flight just right. The fog lifted when I left Jacksonville today.
In this half, FIT is 12 of 17 from the field. Florida Southern, 8 of 17. And the foul on FIT. And big Mr. Walton.
Walton didn't like it, but this is a good call. He gets Carney on the ear here, right there. You can see he hammers him. Good job by John Buckley to get down at the baseline, and they had to go to help. Carney was left open.
Walton with his fourth. He averages 20 a night, has 15 this evening, but is going to be playing in handcuffs the final 7 minutes of this game. FIT can ill afford to lose him. Carney registers his 18th point of the game. Just a 2-point difference. Walton against Carney. It won't fall. Carney with the foul.
You got two of the best big men in the conference going head-to-head right now. Dwight Walton on Chris Carney, and they make each other draw some personal fouls. Here you see Carney getting Walton as he goes up.
Carney had to be, or rather Walton had to be awfully certain that Carney did not have position the way he challenged him. Chris with his second foul. Florida Southern has reached its limit. Walton a perfect 4 of 4, or rather 4 of 5 at the stripe for Tom Folliard's Panthers. The couch, by the way, was provided by Tampa head coach Richard Smith and his assistant Don Bostic, who went out and hunted it down today. He missed the second one. The rebound is to Carney. Michael Dean out front. O'Rourke, and now John Buckley. The holding foul against FIT. That's Robert Sewell, the freshman. We'll take another look at it.
I'm not sure we can pick it up underneath here. Let's see. Sewell. Well, I didn't see it right there. Carney was apparently applauding. It must have happened prior to when we saw it.
Unless they called him for the right hand on the back of the jersey. Terrell against Walton. Dean with Paprocki backing off of it. The screen by Terrell. Dean to Terrell. High-low. Stripped free by Smith. Loose ball controlled by Kelly. Kelly fouled by John Buckley with the block.
Well, you see Terrell gets his pocket pick, but Kelly goes and tries to wedge in between Buckley and Carney, and very, very lucky he was not called with the offensive foul.
Very close to being a charge. Instead, it results in Buckley's first foul, and it will put Kelly at the free throw line, where he is 3 of 4, now 3 of 5 this evening, and that foul will go on Sewell over the back. That was a huge miss, successive missed free throws by the Panthers. Had they made both of them, Dave, they'd be in the lead. Instead, you take the one off the board that Sewell might have had, or the two, and you go to the other end of the court, and now the Panthers will be, or rather the Mocs will be shooting free throw.
Well, FIT a fair free throw shooting team, but not outstanding. And that's hurt them down here the final 10 minutes.
Terrell could not hit it either. The ball last touched by FIT. Returning Bill Buckley.
And O'Rourke's going to sit down, and now they're going to go with the starting 5, go with their experienced players. A little bit quicker ball club in there now, but you trade the bulk when you send O'Rourke to the bench and bring Buckley in.
Dean out front to Carney. Buckley back to Dean. Dean against Paprocki, draws contact, and it goes in. Michael Dean, the junior, with a huge bucket late in the game.
Michael Dean with a NBA move right here. Just gets Paprocki to foul him, powers the basketball in. And now you see after you talk about Chris Carney and Donnelly Tyrell, Michael Dean may not get the recognition, but he's as good as both of them.
21 for Michael Dean to lead all scorers
And I tell you, you got 3 potential All-Americans on this Florida Southern team. And Dean, Tyrell, and of course Chris Carney, who is assured another All-American status this year.
21 of 58 points by a guard on an inside-oriented team is a huge factor. And there's Propraki having a big night too, his 10th point. Back to 1. John Buckley works the right side. To Carney on the high-low. Propraki cannot draw the charge. Carney with 20 down, the senior. A 3-point game at the 5-minute mark. Devon Kelly. It comes off to Bill Buckley. 3-on-1 to his brother John.
You get Florida Southern on a 3-on-1 break, you can just put it in the bank. They're about as good as you'll find at running the fast break at any level.
Quickly 5, 4 unanswered by Florida Southern. Who will handle the pressure of the closing minutes better? Ashley Smith fouled by Mike O'Rourke.
Take another look at this one. I'm not, this could have gone either way. Let's see. Was O'Rourke set? Maybe, maybe not. Smith was in the air before O'Rourke got set. Take another look and let's see. Was he set? Tough to call right there. That was one of those seesaw calls.
Just his first foul. And stepping to the stripe for the first time tonight, Ashley Smith, the sophomore. He is the top free throw shooter in terms of made free throw tosses this year for FIT. His 7th point tonight.
That's because they like to get the ball inside to him. He gets fouled a lot inside the paint.
And he plays inside at 6'2".
That's amazing, isn't it? And the best post-up player on FIT, and he's 6'2".
Dean with Propraki on him. We've watched those two battle all night. John Buckley back to Dean. Propraki goes through the screen to find it. Down low, Donnelly Terrell, triple team, spins, shoots, and scores. His first bucket of the second half, and it came in heavy traffic.
That's a basket.
Oh, no. Over the back, Smith is there. It won't fall. He's fouled.
Donnelly Tyrell, the last time down, had 3 guys on him, turned around from 8 feet and just popped it through. Here you see good offensive boards this time by FIT. They just can't get the shots to go.
The foul was on Michael Dean, his 4th. He remains in the game as Mike Smith hits the freshman with his 3rd point. It falls off short. Another missed free throw, the 4th in this half for FIT. And they trail Dave by 4.
That's getting down to nail-biting time here. 3.5 minutes to go.
Mike Smith with the foul, colliding with Bill Buckley.
And you can just kind of feel the defensive intensity starting to pick up here for both ball clubs. I think you're going to see a lot of free throws here in the last 3.5 minutes. This time Smith just denies Buckley the ball. He's got a right to it, and Smith just gets in the way.
Bill Buckley is only a 60% free throw shooter, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. And he was just shaken up. Let's see what happens. So he makes it.
We saw Bill Buckley last week against Tampa, both he and John. Every time a basket was made by Florida Southern, those guys were slapping hands and jumping all the way to the roof. And George Schultz says those are 2 of the most intense players he's ever coached. And they work well in pressure.
And calmly, Bill Buckley made them both. A 6-point difference. as we near the final 3 minutes. Devon Kelly forced it. It would not go. There was contact with Carney of Florida Southern. No whistle. Buckley to his brother John. Carney. And now it appears that Florida Southern will try and spread the floor. Run some time off the clock. It was kicked out of play by FIT.
Well, you're up 6 with 3 minutes to go, and exactly right. You'll run a little time off the clock, bring the offense out high. You got 3 quick players on the court and the 2 Buckleys, and now Michael Dean coming back in. You can bet they're going to utilize him to try and penetrate.
Down the stretch, Florida Southern has hit 6 straight, while FIT has missed 3 in a row. So with the game on the line, under championship tournament pressure, well, it's FIT, which had made mistakes, making a big play here. Propaki with the reverse layup from the left side. His 12th point.
Well, you can credit Devon Kelly for that one. Stole the ball and got the nice feed off to Propaki.
Dean. Carney from Buckley. Double team. And Propaki fouled it. Ray didn't think so, did he?
No, he didn't. Let's see if he's right. Carney gets it underneath and he gets double teamed. Somebody got an arm in there. I'm not sure it was Propaki. Might have been Smith.
I wouldn't want to wrestle that guy. He's built like an Iowa Big Ten wrestler, isn't it?
He certainly is.
A big night for Carney. And it continues. 21 for Chris. Reporting for duty, Mike O'Rourke.
They're going to get the big guys in there to try and battle the inside game of FIT. So you can see George Schultz. The big guys are going to play on the defense. The small guys are going to play offensively.
He removed the guard in Dean as Carney hits both ends. A 6-point difference. Propaki off to Ashley Smith. Down low, Walton. He adjusted his shot with 4 fouls and missed it. He couldn't drive like he wanted to, Dave. He was a bit tentative.
Yeah, that's a big mess right now. They needed that hoop badly.
O'Rourke out to Bill Buckley. And now Carney.
John Buckley's got a bum ankle, Paul. He's really favoring that left ankle.
Florida Southern killing the clock with less than 2 minutes to go. The winner faces the victor in tonight's matchup between Rollins and Tampa for the Sunshine State Conference Championship. Oh, the steal. Twice Donnelly Terrell has not been able to hold on.
That's a big turnover, Paul. Terrell is wide open in the paint. Now Gene Ussery up off the bench for the Panthers saying, let's call timeout with 1.5 minutes.
FIT takes its second. The Panthers will have 2 remaining.
Watch John Buckley here. He's favoring that ankle going down court. Let's see if you can get some evidence of it. He came off the last time down court. He came off, twisted that ankle a little bit, and he's favoring it. He doesn't want to come out of the game. You can bet on that.
And in terms of basketball, John Buckley is a sprinter. He really flies down the floor. That's his game. Well, you've got 93 seconds to go in this one. Florida Southern leads by 6. FIT has just used its second timeout.
Well, FIT has got to start thinking about some three-pointers right now. They're not terribly adept at it, but you've got a guy out there in Propaki who can knock it down, and Walton can knock it down too. You may see Gene Ussery and Tom Folliard starting to set some picks out on the wing for Walton to get him some three-point tries.
College baseball on Thursday. UCF hosting the Boomer Sooners. Catch it live. The first pitch of the night at 7 o'clock. Only on the Sunshine Network. FIT 22-5 this year, 8-4 in the Sunshine State Conference. George Schultz in his 7th season directing his Mocs to a 22-5 finish. They tied Tampa at 9-3 for the league crown, seeded second in terms of this tournament. Back to live action. FIT with the ball. Propaki with Dean back in there. This is Devon Kelly. To the baseline and scoring, Devon Kelly. 15 for the junior. And now the full court press, forcing Florida Southern to use its third timeout.
Well, that's a great offensive series for Florida International. Didn't want to go to the three-point shot, and George Schultz, you can bet, on the bench in that previous timeout telling his ball club, let's don't foul. You got a minute and a half to go. If you got to give him the shot, do it, but don't put him on the line.
Florida Southern by 4 at 68-64 as we join veteran head coach George Schultz in the mock huddle.
John and Mike, listen to me. We didn't do this last game, Sean. You're here. I want John Buckley, excuse me, I want Mike Dean set the screen. John Buckley coming here. Mike Dean, you roll back right here. Chris, you'll come up this side. Bill, you make Cam Rowe? Cam Rowe. Make sure. Yeah, you can. It's no problem. But Mike, you set a good screen for John when I'm moving. John, you come off into this area. Mike, when you set the screen right here, that's the way you roll back to the ball right there.
George Schultz, who learned his basketball from Lute Olson, now at Arizona, and Cliff Ellis at South Alabama, as well as Norm Stewart at Missouri. It's a pretty good pedigree.
Not too bad, huh?
You saw him showing his backcourt how they're going to set screens against this full court pressure.
Just try and spring somebody open. If you got to foul somebody, the guy to foul is going to be Bill Buckley. Although he hit his last two, they're going to come foul Brother John here.
Mike Smith got him good. The freshman now with his fourth. With 1:14 to play.
You look down the free throw shooters. Carney at 70%, Tyrell at 76%, Buckley also at 76%, and Dean at 81%. Bill Buckley, as we said earlier, the guy to foul, only a 60% free throw shooter.
All eyes on John Buckley. Only his third point this evening. He averages 9, but in this half, Florida Southern has hit 7 of 9, including their last 6 in a row. Make it 7.
Last week it was John Buckley who earned a share of the conference title for Florida Southern. 2 key free throws in the final 5 seconds to beat Tampa. He did it again now.
With time winding down for Procky. With the dish, beautifully to Walton.
Nice penetration, nice dish off inside to Walton for the high percentage shot.
A 4-point game. Dean comes out to the brothers Buckley and now Carney. Dean back to John Buckley. Fouled by Mike Smith. That will be his 5th. It stops the clock with 48 seconds to go.
Good job of moving the ball down court this time by Florida Southern. They had FIT chasing the basketball. You got 2 guys chasing 1 guy. When you do that, someone's always open. And in this case, it was Buckley that made Smith foul out of the ball game.
Mike Smith is gone. Dave Love, a 6'6" sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, into the game for the first time tonight. This free throw important. And it will not go in. Walton with 4 fouls claims it. Hands to Procky. It's not open. Kelly into the lane. Contact, he scores. They'll disallow the bucket.
Oh, that's a huge call and a great play by Bill Buckley.
Kelly got it away. Did it go before the contact?
Yeah, that's a good call. That's an excellent call. Bill Buckley set in the lane, and boy, that's a biggie.
He did not get it away, did not release it prior to the contact.
And that's an intentional foul on Procky. That one I disagree with. Same official making both calls. Good call in the paint that time. Procky, I mean, obviously you're going to try and foul somebody intentionally, but Procky was going after the ball that time. And now they're going to give him 2 shots and the basketball, and that's a big call to make at this stage of the ball game.
Procky with his 4th. And at the stripe, Bill Buckley.
That might be the ball game right there.
2 free throws and possession. Buckley made the first one. He made them both. 6 for Bill Buckley. All Tom Folliard can do, his back, injured as it is watch. A 6-point game. The foul by Dave Love to stop the clock with 28 seconds to go.
Well, now you're going to send Brother John to the free throw line, and you go back to that intentional foul call. If that's not there, Buckley misses the front end of the 1-and-1. You got a 2-point ball game. This is an obvious foul right here going for the basketball 1-and-1. The previous call turns out to be a big one at this stage in the ball game.
Buckley with 4 points this evening. It won't go. Walton there. Outlet quickly, Devon Kelly.
Got to have a couple of threes here.
The first one will not go. Propraki outside the arc. To Kelly again. It won't go. This one an air ball into the arms of Carney. And the foul committed with 12 seconds remaining.
And that'll just about do it. Take another look at it. Pretty good ball movement here. You see the foul call on Ashley Smith, obviously over the back of Carney, but they got Devon Kelly open for a couple of three-pointers. He just couldn't hit him that time. And I'm very disappointed, Tom Folliard and Gene Usry, but they still may have a shot at getting into the NCAAs. They've won 22 games this year.
Two teams have been taken a number of times from the Sunshine State Conference, as respected as it is nationally. It won't fall for Carney. It would take a miracle here. Propraki quickly has to put it up. Instead, he drives. It falls off. Taps it again. Timeout taken with 3 seconds remaining. A 4-point spread, and truly FIT needed 3.
Yeah, Propraki probably should have taken it out and tried a three-point try. You get to 72-69 at this point. Now with 3 seconds to go, you got to score twice, and all Gene Usry wanted to do was stop the clock to get the defense set. They really have nothing to tell the players on the bench at this point other than try and steal the basketball when it comes in.
A man with 350 career wins in Tom Folliard. But his team 3 seconds away from being beaten. The bounce to John Buckley, and he's grabbed with 2 seconds to go as the Panthers were fouling every white jersey they could get a hand on. There were more than one mock. There was more than one mock foul, Dave. In a second, look at him falling all over.
Yeah, no question. Just trying to reach at John Buckley here to try and stop the clock. And so Florida Southern going to advance to the finals for the 4th time in as many years.
Three seconds to go. The foul was whistled, incidentally, on Ashley Smith, his 4th. 2 ticks remaining.
Well, it's been a good ball game. Florida Southern was down by 8. Give them credit for coming back at the beginning of the ball game. But the difference in this game was FIT's inability to get the ball inbounds consistently throughout this ball game. Excuse me, inside the paint throughout the ball game. They got it in bounds just fine.
Buckley made 1 of 2 for his 5th point. And now, leading by 5, will they throw it away?
Bill
That
Buckley
means
has
that FIT will get possession beneath its hoop.
Bill Buckley has something against the media. He just wiped out a newspaper writer down here. Those newspaper guys, they never could catch.
From 3, at the horn, Walton, it'll go. And it's all academic. That's 21 for Dwight Walton. It ends a 2-point game. 73-71. George Schultz and his Mocs have won their 23rd game this year. And Tom Folliard, gallant, bad back and all, standing to congratulate the victors. We'll visit with George Schultz, who engineered this 2-point triumph. When we return, Florida Southern advances to the championship game in the Sunshine State Conference Championship Tournament here in Tampa.
73-71, Florida Southern over FIT, and another thriller. And with me, the head coach of the Florida Southern Moccasins, George Schultz. You're going to keep losing a lot of weight if you keep getting games like this as you've had in the last couple of games.
It's hot in here, isn't it, David? In fact, I thought before the game the air conditioners were turned up. I thought they did a smart thing because it really got hot in here. I'm sweating quite a bit. And I thought it was another great basketball game in our league. FIT is 22-6. 2 losses to us. They beat Boston College. They beat Massachusetts, a number of Division I teams. 2 losses to Tampa. They deserve a bid. We need 3 bids out of this conference. They got a great team.
FIT known for its strong inside game, and Paul and I were commenting on, we felt like a key to the game was your ability to disallow the ball inside, or at least keep them from getting the ball inside consistently.
Well, that may be maybe the most important thing in the game of basketball, Dave. It's so key with all the good players in the nation and in this league. You've got to keep the ball out of the paint. I thought in periods of the game, I thought our guys just played terrifically, and I thought there were some periods where we broke down quite a bit, and that gives us a chance to work on it. But I thought in certain periods we just executed very well. I thought Mike Dean hit some key shots and really made some clutch plays coming back from some adversity.
Tomorrow night, now you got Tampa or Rollins that you're going to have to face, teams that you played this year. You've split with both of those schools. Any preference on who you'd rather face?
We actually beat Rollins twice this year, Dave, and split with Tampa. But this will be another great basketball game here between Rollins and Tampa. And we don't care. We're just happy to be in the championship game tomorrow night. And it's going to be a great basketball game here between Rollins and Tampa. It doesn't matter who we play.
Let's don't look ahead too much here, but you've been to the NCAAs the last 3 years in a row. Your seniors have seen 2 Final Eights and 1 Final Four. Knowing what you know, what do you think your chances are of getting to that Final Four this year?
I got it. I'm going to correct you one more time, Dave. I'm sorry. We've been to actually 3 Final Eights in the last 2 years and 2 Final Fours. We went to Final Four in 1986 and 88. But you're exactly right. Our guys are tournament tested. They've been through a lot of wars. They're a very experienced group, and they play very well together. And all we can do is take them one at a time. Whoever does win this basketball game, we want to win our conference postseason tournament. That's very important to us. And then what happens from there, I'm sure that game tomorrow night will help us get ready for whatever postseason play.
All right, George, congratulations on a great win. I know you want to get to your team, and best of luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, David. Thanks to Sunshine Network. You all do a great job. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, George. Congratulations. George Schultz, head coach at Florida Southern College. They win the first one, 73-71. They're in the finals, and Paul and I will be back with more from Tampa in just a moment.
Sports Channel Florida presents the Sunshine State Conference Men's Championship Basketball Game. Tonight, the Moccasins of Florida Southern take on the Spartans of the University of Tampa. And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Martinez Sports Center for tonight's Sunshine State Conference Men's Championship Game. I'm Frank Messer, along with the Commissioner, Bob Banana. And Bob, congratulations to you and your conference producing the country's number 8 and 9th rated Division II teams in this game tonight.
And that's right, of course. They played both terrifically all season, Frank. But this has become a classic between these 2 schools. I compare it with any rivalry we have in the country. But when they get together, look out, sparks will fly.
I'm looking for a good battle underneath for the 2 big men, Terry Rupp and Chris Carney.
Yeah, that's been Florida Southern's game. Now, Dean has come in the last half of the season and given them an outside straight. And that's what they've needed.
Okay, Bob Banana. We'll be back to chat with the coaches. But first, please, this timeout on Sports Channel Florida.
Welcome back, and with me tonight I have George Schultz, the fine coach of Florida Southern. And George, here we'll go again with a great classic.
Well, you're right, Bob. It's a classic matchup. Tampa's got a fine team, as always. They've been playing very well all year long. Had a great non-conference record, brought the teams in here, and of course, have done a great job in our conference. Here we are playing again. Should be another great ball game.
Well, it's just, you know, it's amazing how you 2 go after each other. This is one of the greatest rivals around.
Well, there's no question about it, Bob. I appreciate you mentioning. I don't think, you know, you talk about the different levels of play and the UCLA, USC rivalry, a Notre Dame Marquette. This is as good as any in the nation. It's a great rivalry. It's great for college basketball.
You've been in Missouri one time. It's kind of like a Missouri-Kansas series.
There's no question about it.
All right, George Schultz, a fine coach, getting ready to go against Tampa here tonight from Florida Southern.
Thank you very much, Bob. And with me, Coach Richard Schmidt of the University of Tampa. Rich, 6 years here at Tampa, 6 seasons of 20-plus wins, 5 NCAA tournaments, an excellent job.
Well, thank you very much. Our guys really done a good job this year for us. We didn't anticipate this kind of year, but they really held in there and done some amazing things. We're real proud of them.
These two clubs have split, each winning on their home court. How much advantage is the home court to you in this game tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I think during the season, home court advantage seems to be a little bit more than during tournaments for some reason. I see that all around the country, so I don't know if it's much of an advantage tonight.
Rich, it's the consensus that both teams will go to the NCAA. Will that dampen the ardor at all?
No, I don't think so. When Tampa and Southern get together, it's always a heated rivalry and lots of fun.
Richard Schmidt, thank you so much for chatting with us. Congratulations on a great job done here at Tampa. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the tip-off right after this timeout on Sports Channel Florida. It's about set for action here in the men's championship game, and on tap to give us the starting lineups, let's go to Lee Tobin at the public address table.
Of the Sunshine State Conference Tournament. Tonight's final game features the Moccasins of Florida Southern and your University of Tampa Spartans. Here are the starting lineups. First for the visiting Moccasins with a record of 23-5. At guard, a 5'11" junior from Key West, number 5, Michael Dean. At guard, a 6'3" senior from Demarest, New Jersey, number 15, John Buckley. At forward, a 6'4" senior from Demarest, New Jersey, number 21, Bill Buckley. At forward, a 6'7" junior from Pompano Beach, number 32, Donnelly Tyrell. And at center, a 6'7" senior from West Palm Beach, number 42, Chris Kearney. The Moccasins are coached by George Schultz. Now the starting lineup for your University of Tampa Spartans with a record of 23-5. At guard, a 5'11" sophomore from Tampa, number 15, Kevin Starnes. At guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Miami, number 32, Drexel DeVoe. At forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Lake Worth, number 34, Brian Williams. At forward, a 6'6" junior from Wheeling, West Virginia, number 44, Michael Stiglitz. And at center, a 6'7" senior from Tampa, number 41, Terry Rupp. The Spartans are coached by Richard Schmidt and Don Bostic. The assistant coach is Joe Nyland.
All right, and we're ready to go. Both teams coming in with records of 23-5 for the year and 9-3 in conference play. They have both won and lost to each other. The officials for this game, Bill Campion, Jack Hubbard, and Ken Sussman. And there you see Richard Schmidt giving final instructions to his Tampa Spartans. Richard in his 6th year, and as mentioned in the interview with him, he has never had a team win less than 20 games. George Schultz on the other bench in his 7th year as the head coach at Florida Southern College. His Moccasins averaging 82 points a game coming in here. The Tampa Spartans averaging 85 a game. So it should be a high-scoring affair, and we're underway as the tap is controlled by Tampa. Here's the man to watch, Kevin Starnes. Feeds the ball off to Brian Williams, the leading scorer in the conference. Starnes makes everything happen. There's Williams. Can't get away from Buckley. Looks like they want Williams to shoot early. DeVoe, and is stolen away. Taken away by Donnelly Tyrell.
Now, one of the game plans, I'm sure, of George Schultz is to try to stymie Williams from scoring. He's the leading scorer in the conference, 22.4.
That's Stiglitz on John Buckley, and Stiglitz pushed him. So there will be the first foul of the game called on Michael Stiglitz, 6'6", 235-pound junior out of Wheeling, West Virginia. Stiglich is prone to get in foul trouble, Bob.
That's right. Not a great scorer, but he's in there to do a lot of screening. And, of course, he's big and broad. He's a good screen man.
Wide body for sure, but he will get in trouble. He did early in last night's semifinal game. Bill Buckley cross court with his brother John. They are twins from Demorest, New Jersey. John puts it up and in. And Florida Southern scores first, leading 2-0 over Tampa.
Tampa comes out with a trapping defense.
Kevin Starnes brings the ball down to Williams. Back to Starnes on the near side. And now Williams takes the shot, a three-point air ball. And quickly down court from the Moccasins. Buckley to Buckley, and in the corner the ball goes to their big center, Chris Carney, one of the best players in the country. Certainly on the list of many people. Shot is taken, and it is no good by Donnelly Tyrell. Battling for the ball, Michael Dean. And they say that it was last touch by Tampa. And there's Richard Schmidt. He's a volatile coach, to say the least.
Now Richard's about ready to get a technical.
That foul, that play was called right in front of his bench. He saw it differently than did the official. Shot no good by Carney, and Tampa will bring the ball down court. Kevin Starnes, sophomore from Gaither High here in Tampa. Stiglich. Very rough working on the outside right now. He'll get underneath later. That is Brian Williams. No good, and rebounded by Donnelly Tyrell.
Tough Florida Southern man-to-man.
And here come the Moccasins down court. Way outside, Chris Carney. Carney from Palm Beach Gardens and Cardinal Newman High School. Now it is John Buckley dancing the ball around, trying to get inside of Williams. Brother Bill now to John again. There goes the big man, up and in, traveling, no basket. Carney travels, no basket.
He picked it up. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Of course, Chris didn't like it.
Well, there's the travel right there.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
I have seen him allow that move, but not that time. You can do it in the pros. But now it's Tampa back on the attack. Williams on the right side. And as they get the ball to DeVoe, a blocking on a call against Kevin Starnes will turn the ball over to Southern. First personal on Kevin Starnes.
Yeah, that's not too good a start for Brian Williams. He's had 2 air balls, and Tampa's got to have some scoring out of him tonight.
Dean goes all the way down the lane, up and in and out, and rebounded by Williams. And Tampa will bring the ball up. Tampa has not scored as yet. Williams throws a shoulder and charging his ball. He throws a shoulder into Bill Buckley, charging on Williams. His first. Look at it on the replay there.
Now here's a good position on it. Okay, looks like it could be called either way. There's a little movement on the defense.
I'll be honest with you. I think most charge blocks could be called either way. Dean puts it up and in. That is Michael Dean, Jr. from Key West and St. Thomas of Miami.
Michael's helped this ball club the second half. He's given them a little outside shooting, too, which they've needed badly.
Southern leads 4-0. Starnes all the way down. Jumper no good. Rebounded by Donnelly Tyrell. And stolen by Starnes. He'll solo.
Good defense for the little guy.
4-2 ball game.
He'll pick your pockets, Frank.
You're darn right he will. So will this kid, Michael Dean. Gets the ball to Bill Buckley. Drives the baseline. And touches the end line. Turning the ball over to Tampa.
You know, Frank, I'm not so sure that Michael Dean isn't probably the fastest from one end to the other that we have in the league.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with the score 4-2 in favor of Southern and be right back after this message on Sports Channel. Conference. solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. Tampa will put the ball in play from out of bounds as we get back to live action here at the Bob Martinez Sports Center.
And we got some pressure applying. Florida Southern.
That's Michael Dean pressuring Kevin Starnes. Those two little bandies will give you a lot of action in a ball game. I'll tell you something. They are both quick. They try to work it to Stiglitz underneath. Off his hands, out of bounds. Who touches it last? It will be Tampa's ball.
And off of John Buckley, Frank.
The Buckley twins are from Demarest, New Jersey. There's Richard Schmidt, head coach here at Tampa. He's done an excellent job with this rebuilding program since they brought basketball back.
Outstanding.
6 years ago. Williams shoots. No good. Rebounded by the big lad, Chris Carney.
They need help from Brian Williams.
John Buckley to Bill, to Dean, back to Dean. Pardon me. John holds it high. Carney spins for two. Chris Carney.
And that's where he's the toughest, off of that baseline with a full spin in there. He'll beat you every time.
He and Rupp are going to have a battle before this game is over. Under the boards, I mean.
I hope that's right.
Yeah, they will. I think they will. They're two big men. They both have good moves. They're going to call a foul here. Pushing off. Foul on Bill Buckley.
You know, this rivalry is unbelievable, Frank, between these two schools.
Well, it's great. It's great for the conference. It's great for the area. Two substitutions. Sean Fitzmaurice comes in for Florida Southern. Well, works the ball to Starnes.
It's interesting, the matchup. Buckley on Williams.
DeVoe shoots no good, and Terrell rebounds it. 6-2, Southern over Tampa. Bill Buckley, no good. Coming off of the rebound, Williams to Starnes. Tampa down court quickly. On the baseline, shot is good.
Beautiful drop-off pass by Starnes. Beautiful.
By Drexel DeVoe. And it's 6-4. We played 6 minutes worth of basketball, and only 10 points have been scored. John Buckley tries to force it in. Intercepted by DeVoe. DeVoe goes in, banks it in, and we've got a tie ball game.
You know, you've got the best defensive team in the conference here with Florida Southern against the second best offensive team in the conference, Tampa.
Along the baseline, going up for the shot and making the shot is Donnelly Terrell of Southern. And the Mocs lead by a score of 8-6. Starnes brings it across the 10-second line for Tampa. Waiting for his big man, Rupp, to get down court in position. Now to DeVoe. In the corner it goes to Williams. Williams guarded by Bill Buckley to Starnes. The shot, the jumper by DeVoe, no good. Terrell, a demon under the board so far in this game. John Buckley, underneath, the shot put up, no good. Followed up, and it is good.
Chris Carney.
Good follow-up by Carney after the shot by Sean Fitzmaurice missed. And Fitzmaurice takes it away from Starnes. Sean Fitzmaurice, only 5'9" and a junior. And a whistle blows and a frustration foul will be called. I think that was frustration more than anything else.
It looked like it, Frank.
12:31 left to go in the game. Foul called on Drexel DeVoe. Dean shoots no good. Carney there to follow it up for two. Chris Carney.
Big guy is tough. Gets good position on the offensive board.
Southern has doubled the score on Tampa, 12-6. And 12-14 left to go in the first half. Chris Henry tries to get something going for Tampa. And traveling against the Spartans. Traveling. Chris Henry is a junior out of Willingboro, New Jersey, coming off the bench, trying to spark the Spartans. Southern will bring the ball up with Michael Dean in possession. All the way up from the paint, no good. And the foul. Charging foul. Charging on Dean.
You know, he goes so quick that he can get into that charge quite often.
And there is a timeout with the score, Southern 12, Tampa 6. 11:57 left to go in the first half. We'll take this timeout on Sports Channel, Florida. 11:57 to go in the first half. Some new men in. Michael O'Rourke has checked in for Florida Southern. He wears number 40. Also for Tampa, Michael Morawski, number 24. And as Henry brings the ball down court, a quick foul is blown against Michael Dean. And a technical. A technical has been called. Michael Dean blown for his second foul in the last 15 seconds. And he's also collected a technical. I thought that was sort of a playful.
Here's the replay on it. Actually, Dean had hand checked on the defensive position a little bit, Frank. Here it is again. He gets a hand in there. He did a little hand checking. And then on a technical, there's no blows or anything like that. He just discussed it.
Well, as it appeared to me, I thought Henry sort of patted him on the backside, and Dean turned around, took sort of a playful slap
over the top of the head. Over the top of the head.
There was no contact, really, and I was surprised. The technical did surprise me, I'll be honest with you. Williams' shot is no good. Henry, as he goes up to follow it up, he is fouled by number 40, Michael O'Rourke.
One of the things about this stage of the game here, early, Frank, officials have got to control the situation. Because a lot of things can happen at the end of it if you don't take care of it in the beginning.
Carroll Dopwell has replaced Brian Williams of Tampa. Carroll Dopwell, a 6'3" sophomore from Washington. That's Chris Henry at the line. Henry's a good free throw shooter. I'm surprised he missed that one. Now check it back in. Chris Carney of Florida Southern. And that'll send Sean Fitzmaurice to the bench, and they gain a foot in height. Second one is good by Henry. And now Michael Stiglitz will come back in for Tampa. And he'll replace Chris Henry. So Tampa has a big team out there on the court right now. With Rupp, Stiglitz, and Morawski. They're all wide bodies. And they're all gathered under the basket right now as Southern. Terrell. Donnelly Tyrell, Jr. out of Ely High in West Palm Beach.
Actually, Florida Southern's countered a little bit by bringing O'Rourke 6'7" into their front line too, Frank.
Morawski shoots. That's a great man to come off the bench.
Yep. He had a wonderful night last night. Had 20 points, 11 rebounds. Best he's had here.
I've seen him have 2 or 3 excellent games coming off the bench. It's 14-10, Southern by 4. And Southern with the ball. Carney cannot get around. Morawski. Now Donnelly Terrell with the ball, looking for help. Back to Bill Buckley. DeVoe, Jason Buckley goes up and scores. Bill Buckley from the baseline.
He had a big pick by O'Rourke. That cleared him just to have a step so he could get in.
O'Rourke at 6'7" and 210 out of Pope John Paul in Boca Raton. Rupp off the back rim. As Stiglitz rebounds, there is a whistle, and he may have pushed off to get the rebound. It'll be his second on Stiglitz. Michael Dean comes back in for Southern. And Donnelly Terrell will go to the bench. Chris Henry wants to check back in for Tampa. As one coach watches the other substitution and tries to match up with the new man.
It's a chess game right now.
It's Stiglitz out for Henry. And John Buckley brings the ball up. 16-10, Southern leading. Bill Buckley, spin around jumper, no good. John Buckley gets it back and scores.
And the brother-to-brother act, Frank.
It certainly is. John is the scorer. Bill is more of a playmaker. 18-10. And again, we have a whistle. Who did they get this time? Morosky, I believe.
Morosky, yeah, number 34, Morosky. Mike Morosky.
Morosky, as I mentioned, does such a job off the bench. He's out of Merrimack, New Hampshire. Only a sophomore, 6'5", 205, but has some excellent moves.
I understand he's a walk-on.
Is that right?
That's what I understand.
Michael Dean works the ball to Carney. Now to John Buckley. Back to Michael Dean for three if it goes. No, it does not go. And Brian Williams rebounds for Tampa. Henry, Williams. Now DeVoe on the near side. He eludes John Buckley and scores. Drexel DeVoe, a sophomore out of Jackson High in Miami.
Similarities to the game they played at Lakeland recently. Florida Southern jumped out the big lead, and of course Tampa came roaring back.
That is Bill Buckley, and the ball taken away from him. Credit Henry, Chris Henry, with some great defensive play there to get the ball back for the Spartans. Williams driving in near the paint, banks it in.
He needed that, Frank. He didn't have a good night last night. And he started out pretty cold tonight.
Brian Williams, a sophomore out of Lake Worth. I don't think he made double figures last night.
No, he didn't. He had 7 points. Of course, an average 22, a little under 22 a game. Best in the league.
18-14 now, Southern by 4. And that big man is Michael O'Rourke going up for the shot.
I believe the foul was on Terry Rupp.
We'll take another look and see what is on.
Now, if Terry moves in on O'Rourke, as he goes up, he makes contact.
There are some big bodies to clash in there. Terry Rupp at 6'7" and 240 pounds. He's out of Jesuit High in Tampa. And here is Donnelly Tyrrell coming back in.
Tyrrell's had a great year. Just a real great year.
Also ready to come in, Sean Fitzmaurice. First shot is good by Michael O'Rourke. Sean Fitzmaurice comes in for John Buckley. Bill Buckley is in, John Buckley is out. Fitzmaurice is in. Along with Carney, Donnelly Tyrrell, and O'Rourke, the man shooting. He makes them both. It is 20-14 Southern. And now Tampa will substitute as Kevin Starnes comes in. Williams is out. No, Williams is still in there. I beg your pardon. That's Morosky.
Beautiful handoff. Williams.
I'm very impressed with Morosky. I really am.
He's a big guy, and he fills that third lane so well. You know, he's quick for a person that big.
Carney driving in. And he was fouled as he drove in.
It was an act of shooting, I believe, too. Big 2 shots.
That is Schmidt jumping on one of his players, that player being Brian Williams. You could read his lips say, "What are you doing?"
Now here's a replay of Nebraska, I think, picked him up inside. And went up with him, made the contact.
Free throw no good. Tampa brings the ball up court, trailing by 4.
That was not a shooting foul because Tampa's in a 1-on-1 already here.
A steal on the intercept by Carney. And Fitzmaurice. Tyrrell back to Fitzmaurice. Underneath, all alone, Carney, and he missed it and tapped it in on the follow-up.
Yeah, speaking of when to go, Frank, he just gets great offensive board position. Got a chart.
Foul on Fitzmaurice. Yep.
Blocking foul.
On Fitzmaurice. I think we got a camera just stationary over there on Richie Schmidt. He is so animated, you have to do it. There is a timeout with a score 22-16. Southern leading by 6. We'll take a timeout and come right back. During the ladies' game, this was spring break, so not a lot of the students are on hand. Predominantly Tampa crowd here. Of course, we're in Tampa on the University of Tampa campus.
Yeah, both schools are spring break right now.
That is no good by DeVoe. Williams follows it up and scores.
Interesting stat at this point in the ball game, Frank. Florida Southern's out rebound Tampa 12-6. Of course, that last offensive rebound brought it up to 7.
The alley-oop. Terrell shoots no good. Ball on the floor, picked up by Bill Buckley. Taken away from him, he gets it back, feeds it out to O'Rourke. Now it's Fitzmars who'll set up a play. Well, picks up there by Terrell, the ball stolen by Williams, soloing in and scores.
Beautiful change of pace.
Carney gave way, fell down to get out of his way and not be called for a foul.
Williams gave him just a little head and shoulder, change of pace, and went in unmolested.
22-20, a 2-point game. Southern, 6:10 to go in the first half. Carney with the ball, guarded by Rupp, takes the shot, no good. Rebound, Williams. And here come the Spartans. Williams with a shoulder into Bill Buckley, and Bill will be called for a blocking foul.
There was no doubt about that. Defensive man, we have a replay on it. I'll show you the movement by Buckley. Actually put a knee in there too, you see. As a result, Williams going to go to the line. Nope, they're not in the 101.
Nope, that's the 6th team foul. Rupp, DeVoe. Passes off to Starnes. He drives, hands off. Shot is good by Morosky on a beautiful dish from Starnes.
You know, he's given them a great effort for the last half of the season, Morosky.
We're tied at 22. O'Rourke saves it. Back, and they say DeVoe was the last man to touch it. Red's ball. That's Florida Southern.
Dean's coming in. Mike Dean coming back in for O'Rourke. A lot of difference in height there, Frank.
Well, O'Rourke is 6'7" and 210, and Dean is 5'11", 170.
These two coaches do a great job of substituting.
They'll have fresh men on the court at all times. John Buckley with the ball, trying to dance it around Williams. Got a nice pick from Terrell. Shoots. No good in the whistle.
See, the thing about bringing Dean in for O'Rourke, that automatically changes what they're planning to do on offense. They don't need a timeout. They just send a substitute in. That's automatic, Frank.
Jason Shin right there will come in, number 44 for Florida Southern. And he replaces Chris Carney to give Carney a rest. Jason Shin, 6'6", 210-pounder from Lakeland High School. And Stiglich back in for Tampa. Michael Stiglich, 6'6", 235 out of Wheeling, West Virginia.
John Buckley. He and Bill are both seniors. They'll miss him next year.
Last foul was on Morosky, and that is 3 already on Morosky. Well, that's hard to believe.
He's kind of come with a little inexperience. You know, actually, he is more or less a freshman as far as experience.
That is 24-22, Southern by 2. Williams can tie it if it goes. It goes, and we're tied at 24. Starnes, DeVoe, Williams, Rupp, and Stiglich on the court for Tampa. John Buckley back in. John Buckley, Michael Dean, Jason Shin, Chris Carney, and Donnelly Tyrell on the court for Florida Southern. Tied at 24.
Two good defensive ball clubs. Ira Dean gets the split.
Dean to the feint, that partially deflected, it looked like, partially deflected by Drexel DeVoe, and no good. Now Starnes, under orders from his coach, Richie Schmidt, will set the play. Drexel DeVoe to Rupp on a high post.
Both teams going for the high percentage shots. They're very patient.
Starnes playing right in his own backyard out of Gaither High here in Tampa. Oh, it's off his hand and a turnover. They turn it over to Southern, and Schmidt pounds his fist in the air. Schmidt screaming at his troops, not the officials. He's going to get somebody out of there as he sends Chris Henry to the scorer's table. John Buckley guarded by Starnes. Back out it comes to Dean. John Buckley drives around Starnes and scores as he gets a good bounce.
Good bounce. It wobbled and went in.
Southern by 2 points, 26-24, 3:40 in the half. Starnes, Williams, Drexel DeVoe, Starnes again. Starnes all over the court. Williams shooting as he eludes number 44, Jason Shin, and scores 3. Three-pointer for Williams. His 83rd three-pointer of the year.
He's number 2 in the conference, and that's what they need from him, some of that outside shooting.
Tampa has the lead for the first time at 27-26, and they rebound the ball as Williams takes it off the glass. DeVoe, and stolen underneath by Carney. Flips off to John Buckley, and Buckley is fouled as he goes down.
That's what I call a worthless foul. Frank, you got a bad position and try to knock the ball away from the back.
Drexel DeVoe call for the foul, and DeVoe goes out. That's his second personal. DeVoe is replaced by Kevin Starnes. Buckley's shot no good, but followed up underneath by Jason Shin. Shin, a sophomore out of Lakeland High School.
Played a lot as a freshman last year.
28-27, Southern by a point. What a game we've got going here at the Bob Martinez Center. Stiglitz putting the move on and scores. He muscled that one in, didn't he?
He lowered his shoulder and went to baseline.
Yes, he did. Get out of my way. Here I come.
It's kind of like Karl Malone of the Jazz. Don't get in my way.
Now John Buckley as he tries to move the ball in, and a whistle blows in the right-hand corner.
Seemed like Buckley's been at the line almost the first half, Frank.
The foul was on Starnes, yes.
Starnes second.
John Buckley at the line. John an inch shorter than his twin brother and 5 pounds lighter.
A good sign of a good defensive ball club. Florida Southern hasn't committed their 7th foul yet. Only 2:17 to go in the half. Michael
Dean goes out. Bill Buckley is back in. Also checking in for Southern, we'll have Michael O'Rourke. O'Rourke is a 6'7" senior. Now the officials have been called to the scorer's table as Southern leads by a point, 30-29 over Tampa.
I don't know what the question is, but Jack Hubbard, one of the officials, pointing to the scoreboard.
Florida Southern defeated Rollins 82-75 in the ladies championship game. I'll throw that score to you in case you missed it earlier. Off the rim. And right back into the hands of Stiglitz, Tampa's ball.
I think that little hesitation was to put a point up on the board. Now it's 29-29 with 2:04 to go.
Okay, they did correct it. Thank you.
Right.
We're tied. Henry. Stiglitz. Now Williams. Williams put a pretty good move on, but he missed his shot. Underneath, Rupp to follow it up. Body's on the floor. Shot no good. And John Buckley out with the ball to brother Bill. O'Rourke in the corner. It goes to Donnelly Tyrell. John Buckley off the back rim. Stiglitz gets to this ball for Tampa.
Stiglitz made a great position on that. He kept moving the ball out till he got to it on his defensive rebound.
That is Chris Henry. Starnes. Williams loses the ball. It hits the deck. Starnes picks it up. Spins it off to Chris Henry. Eating up clock now with 1:07 to go in the half. Williams no good. Rupp gets the rebound. Back out to Starnes.
Clock started again, 2:45. Takes it back out.
Henry. Bill Buckley comes out to meet Henry. They work the ball to Rupp. And it's knocked out of bounds on the move there by Jason Shin. It'll be Tampa's ball.
29 on the clock. Shot clock, and on 44 on the board.
And the score is 29 apiece. Right now there is a timeout. We'll take a timeout and be right back. To Sports Channel Florida immediately following tonight's game as we bring you games 3 and 4 of the Sun Belt Conference quarterfinals from Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, Bob, quite a ball game tied 29-29, 44 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Frank, I've been here 3 years, 3 basketball seasons in this conference, and every Tampa, Florida Southern game I've seen has been just like this. It's unbelievable.
Richard Schmidt on the Tampa bench sends his troops back out for the final 44 seconds of the first half. It's Tampa's ball, and Rupp to pass it in. Terry Rupp, a senior from Tampa's Jesuit High, to Chris Henry from Willingboro, New Jersey. Kevin Starnes, also out of Tampa, Gaither High.
They've got to take a shot because there's only 14 on the shot clock and 27 in the first half.
Williams will take the shot. Air ball. It was not a high percentage shot the way he was off balance when he put it up.
Yeah, he didn't look like he knew whether to shoot or not. He couldn't decide. In fact, he was coming down as he shot the ball.
Indecision cost him any chance of a bucket. Southern will bring the ball up. They can take a last second shot. 15 seconds to go. John Buckley has it. Buckley back again. Posted low. Michael O'Rourke. Buckley off, and the shot taken from the left corner. Stiglitz draws a foul as Shin misses the shot. Foul on Stiglitz will be his third. As the buzzer sounded, the foul was called, and that will send Chris Carney to the free throw line. There goes Stiglitz with his third personal foul. Carney will shoot the free throws 1 and 1 as time has expired in the first half.
Looked like Stiglitz had a shove off on the thing with a forearm. He didn't need that, though. That's his third, like you say.
So as the buzzer sounded, Stiglitz picked up his third. Carney missed the opening shot of the 1 and 1 and will not shoot again. So we're at halftime with the score tied at 29, but don't go away. That is just the half of it from the Bob Martinez Center. We'll be right back with our halftime activities. The final 20 minutes have as much action as the first 20 minutes of this game. We've got something in store for us.
Well, I guarantee you we'll have a great 20 minutes here. And of course, like we've indicated, Florida Southern is the best defensive ball club in the conference, and Tampa, I think it's number 2. Tampa is number 2 offensively. So when these two clash, anything can happen. It should be a great second half, Frank.
Florida Southern will put the ball in play to start the second half.
I think that both teams, of course, the record they have will be in the NCAA, regardless. Of course, the winner gets the automatic. But I think we'll see both of these ball clubs in the NCAA Regional 2 weeks from now.
Well, I tell you, you got another team in your conference I think deserves to be there, although they very possibly won't, and that's FIT.
Well, you're right. They're 22-6, and we're hoping that we'll get 3 teams this year.
Reverse layup is no good, attempted by Michael Dean. Shot from outside, no good by Terrell. And rebounded by Stiglitz, and here we go. Tampa down court with the ball. That is Kevin Starnes.
Big thing is, of course, Tampa keep on the boards and keep that rebound stat pretty close.
Williams, DeVoe, Starnes, Rupp, and Stiglitz on the court for Tampa. Florida Southern has Carney, the Buckleys. Also, Michael Dean.
A lot of movement on their offense.
And Donnelly Tyrell. Spin around jumper, no good by DeVoe, followed up by Rupp. Barry Rupp.
Takes up a lot of room in there, and he and Corney battle. It's really, you've got to have good position. And, of course, Corney has had a little better of that the first half.
John Buckley with the ball toward the corner, back out to Brother Bill. John underneath, shot by Terrell is good.
It's interesting, the matchups here. We've got, of course, Rupp on Kearney down here. And the matchup with Terrell could make a little difference second half.
We're tied at 31.
Beautiful pass.
Yes, it was. A beautiful pass, and Michael Stiglitz.
Terry Rupp really threaded a needle.
Now John Buckley brings it up court. Win Brother Bill. Dean to John. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot. He passed instead to Michael Dean. It was a good pass there from Chris Carney to Michael Dean underneath.
That's a sure. And Kearney shouldn't have taken that shot, though. He was right in front of the basket.
I thought he would take it.
But he's a very unselfish ball player. And I just enjoy watching him these 3 years play.
Still averaging close to 20 points a game.
Was also the 3rd rebounder in the conference. He and Rupp 3 and 4, I believe they are.
Dean will go to the line. Excellent free throw shooter. Better than 80% for the year. Now, some folks will say I probably jinxed him when I said that, but I'll say it again. He is still an excellent free throw shooter.
Right, he's given them, like I say, a good second half this season. Of course, came in, last year. Took him a little while to get adjusted.
Misses both of them. Oh! That was Big Stiglitz was on the floor with the ball, put it off to DeVoe, and the whistle blows. They're going to call the foul.
It's a block foul
on John Buckley.
Foul on the defense. We'll probably get a replay on this. All right, here we are. You see the movement by Buckley came up to offensive man. He was making a move into him. Good call.
So it's Tampa's ball. Air ball, if that may have been supposed to be an alley-oop, but a very poor one.
Oh, beautiful
there by Williams.
Beautiful block by Williams.
What a block. Williams depriving Michael Dean of a bucket.
Here's a replay on it. It comes from nowhere. Brian Williams, it knocks the ball clear up in the stands. Beautiful, beautiful block.
Defensive play of the game so far.
Right.
John Buckley gives it to Dean. Carney outside, guarded by Stiglitz. Those are 2 wide bodies. There's Dean trying to work off a pick. John Buckley scores. 3-pointer. 3 for John.
Buckley, John, every once in a while, will get in that 3-point groove, and of course, that'll surely help the chance of Florida Southern. 2-3 out there.
That's his 41st of the year. 34-33, Southern by a point over Tampa. 17-10 left to go in the game. Underneath the Starnes to Stiglitz, and he forces one up and scores.
That's just pure strength, right?
Just muscle, that's true.
I thought he was going to throw the defensive man in the basket with the ball.
35-34, Tampa by 1. Dean for Southern. Stiglitz comes out to meet him, almost fouled him.
Got a mismatch outside.
Bill Buckley for the shot, no good. And Rupp slaps the ball out of bounds. No, they say that. I thought Rupp touched it last.
We're getting a correction from Jack Hubbard, though. I think he's indicating it is Florida Southern's ball.
Yeah, it is Florida. I thought that Rupp slapped at it. That is DeVoe.
The outside, the third official. That's where a good third official comes in, because Hubbard had a chance to look in and see that.
DeVoe goes out. Now checking in for Southern is Michael O'Rourke, number 40. Chris Henry replaced DeVoe. Carney elects not to shoot over Rupp. Dean with the ball. Henry guarding. He takes
moves.
Lots of moves.
Oh, boy.
What a fake he put on Brian Williams that time.
Put the ball up and everything was coming down as far as the defense, Frank.
Now Williams, bounce pass underneath, and Rupp shoots and scores. Terry Rupp.
Rupp's a lot like Kearney. He gets that ball down inside there, and he's pretty well unstoppable.
Big senior out of Jesuit High, right here in Tampa. John Buckley moving on Starnes. To the corner, to the baseline. Ball taken away from him, covered up by Brian Williams. Out to Starnes. And here come the Tampa Spartans down court. Williams, guarded by Tyrell. Starnes with Dean on him. Chris Henry, picked up by John Buckley. That is Rupp. Whistle blows before the ball is put up. No basket. That's a costly turnover there for Tampa.
Yeah.
Don Bostic a little bit upset over there on the Spartan bench, and so is his mentor, Richard Schmidt.
It's a pressure game, you know. These two play, it doesn't make any difference. They play Sunday morning.
All right, time is out. With the score, Tampa 37, Southern 36. We'll be back. Seen live in most areas Sunday, March 5th at 7:30 p.m. We'll bring you fast-paced NBA basketball as the Miami Heat take on the Detroit Pistons live from the Miami Arena. Catch it all right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. That'll be tomorrow night at 7:30. I don't think they have any more action down there in the arena tomorrow night than we've had right here in the Martinez Center tonight, Bob.
Not really. Not really.
Maybe.
Far from being over, too, Frank.
Maybe a little bigger, maybe a little more depth. They get paid for doing it, but I'll tell you, these kids have given us quite a ball game tonight. Blocking foul will be called.
It's on Mike.
O'Rourke.
Yep.
Mike O'Rourke of Southern picks up his second personal. And the second team foul in the second half. Dean goes out. Sean Fitzmaurice right there comes in. Fitzmaurice out of Indian River Community College.
Giving Chris Kearney a little rest, too.
Henry. Now they get the ball to Rupp on the baseline, and when he gets the ball down there, it's almost an automatic key.
Yeah, about 2:30, you know, and at 6-7, that's a lot of people.
39-36, Tampa by 3. The Buckley's in control right now. That's Bill putting the move on Starnes, and Starnes charged with a blocking foul. Starnes called for blocking. Schmidt not happy over on the Tampa bench. That'll be the third on Starnes.
You know, Frank, we had a straight shot at that, though. There was just no doubt. Starnes was moving, and, of course, if he's going to draw the charge, he's got to be standing still and directing the pass of the man, offensive man.
I believe he'll come out of the ball game.
Here's the replay of it. You see, Starnes is moving on Buckley, and he keeps moving all the way to baseline. That has to be a block foul.
All right, he's out of the basketball game.
Beautiful.
Up
and under.
Yeah, beautiful shot. The Buckleys been playing basketball together, shoulder to shoulder, just about their entire lives.
That's beautiful.
Tampa leading by a point. Williams in and out, rebounded by big Michael O'Rourke. Michael Dean brings it down. Bill to John, back to Bill. John Buckley going in on Dopwell, passing off to O'Rourke, and he scores.
Give Buckley a big assist.
Michael O'Rourke gets the 2, Buckley a tremendous assist, and the lead goes back over to Southern at 40-39.
Your silent weapons coming back in the ballgame, Frank.
Morosky, that could be only Morosky you're talking about. Rupp puts it up, no good, gets it again. Knocked away from him, but Kearney fouled him.
Now he saved 2 points. 2 sure points because Rupp was going up with it.
We'll look at it again.
All right, here we go. The Rupp's moving up with the ball, and Kearney just comes across the forearm. Here he goes. Here goes again. He was fouled twice, but
they only call one.
On the second attempt, yeah.
First personal on Kearney, and Rupp will go to the line. Rupp, a senior, what a foul shooter he is, hitting 85% from the free throw line. A lot of big men can't shoot those free throws. As I said, he misses one.
It happens every time, doesn't it? No, actually, Terry Rupp is over 80%.
85, really, yeah.
Right, he was one of the leading free scorers in the country for a while.
Well, he got his second one, and we're tied at 40. 40-40 as Michael Dean races down court with it, and Chris Henry throws a block into Michael O'Rourke, and Henry will be charged with a foul, his second.
You know, you watch Michael Dean come down the floor. Every time he bounces the ball, he's got a fake. He looks like a snake going down the floor. He's faking all the way, and you don't know where he's going, left or right or in. I like him. Here's a replay, Frank.
Right, take another look at him.
All right, you see, Michael draws a lot of that. Of course, this Henry just moved right into O'Rourke. He had a screen set up and knocked O'Rourke down.
John Buckley works the ball to Bill. John gets it back. Being guarded by Williams. Now Dean going in on Henry. Fadeaway jumper, no good, but underneath Kearney scored. No basket. It is no basket. We'll look at this one again.
Dean comes in, giving all kinds of fakes. He misses. Kearney goes up with the ball. Goes in, but we had a foul on Terry Rupp, I believe, before the shot. Is that right, Frank?
Yep, before the shot, yeah. They said there's no basket. We're still tied at 40. And right now, O'Rourke will go out of the ball game as Donnelly Tyrell comes in for him for Southern.
The throw ball, that would have counted because they would have gotten that in the start of his shot. It's not pro ball.
Blocked there, followed up by Kearney, no good. A lot of bodies banging down underneath the basket along the baseline. It'll be Southern's ball. 12:59 left to go in the game. In it comes to Dean. Kearney spins around up against Stiglitz, and he is fouled. If that's on Stiglitz, it'll be his fourth.
Well, Stiglitz went up with him and just got to pace the forearm. We'll have a replay on up here. Here we go. Stiglitz moves in tight. Kearney gives him a lot of fake and across the shooting hand, forearm.
4 personals on Stiglitz.
He was in foul trouble last night.
Early, he got a couple of fouls in the first 2 minutes and sat out most of the rest of the first half. Kearney hits his first one. He's a 70% man at the line. Rebounded by Rupp. Rupp handles the ball pretty good. He can dribble it for a big man. He can dribble it for a small man. He can dribble it for anybody.
Shoots outside well. He hasn't done much of that this last part of the season, but he can hit the top of the circle.
Chris Henry. Now Williams in and out from three-point range. Bill Buckley grabbed it, covered it up. Now gives it to Dean down court. Kearney out on a high post. Underneath. And as Rupp goes up for the block, he fouls Donnelly Tyrell. Rupp on the foul.
I thought he was going to get a good block, but he got inside. Made contact. Here we go. Farrell goes up. You see it. Oh, yeah, there wasn't any doubt about it.
Buddy.
I thought he just had a piece of it, but he had more than a piece. He had a whole body of it.
Yep, had his whole body there. Stiglich has gone out of the ball game. And Carroll Dopwell back in for Tampa. Donnelly Tyrell on the line, 6'7" junior out of Pompano Beach. And he hit Tyrell, Pompano Beach, and Ely High School. He's got another year here at Florida Southern.
He'll be a leader again next year.
Makes the move.
Florida Southern loses a lot of people, Frank.
43-40, Southern by 3. They'll lose Carney. They'll lose both Buckleys. They'll lose O'Rourke, among others.
Not too many freshmen on the squad.
Williams, no. O'Rourke out of bounds, off his hand. Tampa's ball.
I think Coach Smith is telling Williams to shake it off this goal. But I tell you, part of that, if there was any frustration there, part of that's good defense by Florida Southern.
43-40, Southern will take this time out and be back with a lot more action. Huh? All right, 43-40, Florida Southern over at Tampa. We talked about the stuff. I've been meaning to ask you this all night long now. When they have spring break up north, the students come down here to Florida for spring break. When they have spring break down here, where the students go
Well,
from?
you know, a lot of students down here go to Colorado, Utah, and up the east go skiing. I'm talking about snow skiing. There's amazing how many people from down here, students as well, that make that trip. But I would say that a lot of them still go to those beaches. I don't know why they go any place other than the beaches.
I know over here on this side, Clearwater Beach is getting to be very popular.
Right, yeah. We lived over here, you know, until last October. We're in Jupiter now, but the beaches are great here and on the Goshen side.
Rupp takes the shot, no good, and as Dopwell goes up for the rebound, he pushes off, and he commits the foul. Foul is on Carroll Dopwell, sophomore from up Washington, D.C. Look at Schmidt. Richard Schmidt says, I got to change my glasses. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Well, Schultz looks like he's unhappy down the other end. Everybody's unhappy right now.
Yeah, you get the place officiating where you can't satisfy anyone. You know, everything's judgment.
Oh, that's Schultz. That was Bostic you saw a minute ago, the associate head coach at Tampa. And now George Schultz, and there's Richard Schmidt.
I think we'll get a replay of what happened, but
John Buckley missed the free throw. Rough rebound. Williams with the ball. Back outside to Chris Henry. 43-40, Southern by 3 over Tampa.
They've been on a 7-1 run as far as Southern up 3, but still it's anybody's ball game.
Chris Henry being guarded closely by Michael Dean. Now Williams guarded by John Buckley, or rather Bill Buckley.
Florida Southern dropped that defense back in deep. They're not going to let Dean get away
9
with
seconds.
it. There he goes.
That's just muscle over there.
We're just getting ready to say they're going to shut him off, but when he gets the ball, he's too strong.
240 pounds worth of Rupp right here. Getting 2 points.
Here's a replay on this play with Rupp. See, actually O'Rourke's in good position. He's got his hands up, but the big guy Terry Rupp is so strong.
There's 450 pounds making contact there. Rupp 240, O'Rourke 210, both of them at 6'7". So O'Rourke got 2, and he'll tie it if he makes this one. Rupp does tie it up. 43 all. There you see it, 43-43 here on Sports Channel Florida. As Bill Buckley brings the ball down. Rupp comes out to meet him. Now Rupp goes back toward the baseline. As the shot is taken by Dean from the line. Baseline, that is. And it's 45-43 Southern.
He's got, Michael Dean has a tremendously fast first step. He can beat you right there on that first step. That's what happened on that last one.
Williams to Rupp on the baseline. They had to foul him to keep him from scoring there. Donnelly Tyrell.
They're getting the ball to Rupp way down deep. And, of course, Florida Southern is going to have to shut it off. Here's a replay. Here comes Rupp. And Tyrell is inside. He has good position. But the big guy, Rupp, has got so much strength. He's liable to throw one of those little guys in the basket with that ball, Frank.
Well, I'll tell you, he is strong. True wide body. He makes the free throw. If he makes this one, he'll tie it up again. 85% of his shots have gone this year from the line. He makes them both. Tie ball game at 45.
Unofficial count, I think this is the 7th tie we've had. Unofficially.
10:30 left to go in the basketball game. Bill Buckley gets the ball to Dean. John Buckley handles it. Williams comes out to meet him.
Florida Southern gets a lot of movement on their offense.
And John Buckley hits a three-pointer. 48-45 on the trifecta for John. That's his second of the game and his 42nd of the year.
You know, he doesn't score a great average, but he gets them when he counts.
Whistle underneath. As the body is on the deck, that was Bill Buckley on the floor. Now we'll take another look at this one.
Well, we got a move by Williams. As he goes up, Buckley's on the inside, but he's moving. Take another angle to it. Williams with the ball. Buckley comes over. Moves into him a little too close. Yeah.
Grabbed hold of his shirt there for one thing, and wrapped him up in a cub hug, I would say. Not quite a bear hug, a cub hug.
A cub scissor hole, huh?
Foul on Buckley. Williams to the line, misses. Third foul on Bill Buckley. 10:03 left to play. And the young man from Lake Worth connects on his second one. 48-46, Southern by 2. John Buckley in the forecourt. Brother Bill is on the bench right now. Tyrell hits. Very animated bench for Florida Southern.
Just checking. Williams scoring. He has only had 12 points at this point. He's 22 points a game.
A steal by John Buckley, and a foul will be blown on Carroll Dopwell. Buckley will go to the line. Here's the replay.
Here's the replay with Buckley driving. And he's clipped outside pretty well inside.
We'll be right back. 50-46 the score. Southern by 4. Rupp, I understand, very quiet the first half scoring, but he's come through here in the second half for Tampa.
He's 13 points and 12 of them the second half. Right.
So if it were not for Rupp, Tampa would be in deep trouble. In fact, if it were not for Rupp, Tampa would have been in deep trouble all year. But right now, the shoe is on the other foot as we have John Buckley at the free throw line. Having been fouled by Carroll Dopwell. No! And Rupp rebounds. Tampa's ball. He gives it to Henry to bring up court. I got a feeling if Tampa wins, Rupp may smile for the first time this year. He's a very stern-faced young man.
Very serious.
Yes, very serious.
Top student.
Dopwell feeds it to Rupp on the baseline, but he can't shoot over Tyrell. Throws it back outside to Henry.
Double team Rupp now on the baseline. That's what they've got to do is shut him off.
Morosky fadeaway, no good. Rebound, Carty. Here comes Southern. It'll be Southern's ball, knocked out by Tampa. 8:55 left to go in this game at the Bob Martinez Sports Center. And now John Buckley goes to the bench. Bill Buckley comes on the floor. Starnes comes back in as George Schultz has taken the jacket off over there on the Florida Southern bench. Very dapper gentleman. And the intercept by Morosky. DeVoe down. Fadeaway jumper. Faded so far he hit the deck. Missed the shot. Williams with the ball. Off the glass. No good. And Carney rebounds and is fouled.
I think they called it on Terry Rupp. He was the one that showed disgust.
If it is, it'll be his second.
Yeah, here's the replay of it. All right, Carney goes up, gets the ball. I don't see, yeah, Rupp's right behind him. Yeah, there's a foul. Or it could have been on Williams inside.
It's on Williams.
Yeah, yeah, he reached in.
It's on Williams, his second as well. And Carney to the line. Cardinal Newman, high school product. Off the rim. Rebound, though, Tyrell. No! Up for the ball, and yes! Jason Shin.
Shin's giving a helping hand.
53-46, Southern by 7. Barnes brings it up for Tampa. Williams. No. DeVoe, no.
Tampa's turned cold.
Rebound, Tyrell. He took a blow, but no whistle. Starnes racing up against DeVoe. Starnes quickly, baseline. Shoots, no. Foul, yes.
We've got a block. Leave on Starnes.
A charge on Starnes. A charge, I believe, called against...
offensive foul on
Dean.
Mike Dean. Yep. Here's the replay.
Charge on Dean. Let's look at it.
Dean's driving. Starnes in good position. He kept his position. He stabilized, and that was a charge.
Charge on Dean. That'll be his third. There he is.
He's had 2 charges tonight. He has a lot of that.
Looks like he's all fired up. The adrenaline, I can't even say it, is flowing.
He goes so fast, a lot of times he can't pull up.
Starnes on the line. Yes. 53-47. 7:54 left to go. This has been a crowd pleaser.
Been excellent defense too, Frank, by both ends.
Starnes. Excuse me, go ahead.
No, excuse me, go ahead.
Starnes hits them both. Now Carroll Dopwell comes in. Dopwell in, replacing Brian Williams to give Williams a bit of a rest. This is Michael Dean, youngster from Key West and out of Miami St. Thomas. Tyrell, yes.
Right now, Tampa cannot afford to let this spread go much further because we're down to 7.5 minutes.
And a 7-point lead for Southern.
55-48.
Every possession so important, and in making the steal of Jason Shin fouls. So the foul on Shin, both teams in the bonus situation. Both teams with over the limit of team fouls here in the half, and Carroll Dopwell to the line.
I think Williams will be back in the ballgame pretty quickly because they've got to get some score from him his last 7+ minutes.
First foul on Shin, and Dopwell misses the free throw. And the whistle before that shot, and the foul will be on Bill Buckley. Bill Buckley pushing off. And now it will be Drexel DeVoe to the line. There's the other half of the Buckley twin combo. And John checks back in. John will replace Bill. They didn't used to be both starters, but then for an injury to somebody, they both started one game. Southern won it. They both started the next game. Southern won it, and they have both been starters ever since.
And that was back when Florida Southern, wasn't playing all that great. And also, a lot of times you go along, coach will say, hey, this is a combination we want, and they've kept the Buckleys in there.
DeVoe hits his first one.
And deserving so.
And the Jackson High graduate, shoots again and misses. Carney rebounds. 7:15 left to go in the game. 55-49. Southern by 6. John Buckley to Carney to the paint. Partially deflected by Rupp and a foul.
Hey, Rupp got him on the arm, on the hand, I believe.
That'll be the third on Terry Rupp. We'll look at it again.
Now he goes up and gets him on the arm, forearm, wrist. Makes contact. Enough to knock that ball off line as far as scoring.
Well, Carney to the line, senior from West Palm Beach. Out of Cardinal Newman High School. Close to 20 points a game is his scoring average. And he is complaining to the official over the movement of one of the Tampa players.
I think the blocker, supposed to block the free throw shooter, came in a little more aggressive than what he thought he should.
He makes both of them. The blocker in that case was Kevin Starr.
Got an 8-point spread here, Florida Southern.
Rupp.
It's crucial for Tampa right here.
Williams shoots. It is no good. Tap by Rupp is no good. Ball out of bounds. It'll be Tampa's ball. Morosky hit the floor pretty hard. Donnelly Tyrell almost stepped on him. Had to do a little fancy dance step to keep from tromping on his opponent. And we'll watch the footwork here. There's the...
Rupp nearly had a great basket. There he goes to the floor, and of course Terrell doesn't know he's there. He nearly trips over and backing up on him.
Stiglitz comes in. Morosky goes out. They got the wide bodies in there now. Rupp inbounds it to Starn. That's Brian Williams. A pick set up by Stiglitz. Williams does not shoot. Starn shoots. Three-pointer. Trifecta, 57-52.
You know, Terrell's doing a tremendous job on Brian Williams. He's not giving him a chance to get that ball off. He's all over him whether he plays outside or inside. Reply, here we go. It wasn't a three-pointer. Looked like it was from the film.
It was.
Okay.
He got 3 on it, 57-52. So the 8-point lead is now 5.
Well, it takes a couple of those, Frank.
Yep. John Buckley up with the ball. Now Michael Dean. That's DeVoe on Dean.
So the defenses will let Starn shoot out there most of the time. He was wide open on that last three-pointer.
Dean almost had the ball slapped right back into his face. It goes out of bounds, and it will be turned over to Tampa. Dean, the last man to touch it. Here comes Sean Fitzmaurice in for Florida Southern, and Dean will go out for a rest.
He's going to put a little pressure on.
Full court pressure.
He dropped back.
Yep.
I thought they were going to go after Starn.
I thought so, too. There's Starnes bringing it up. Convoyed up court by big Terry Rupp. Starn back to DeVoe, to Starn.
Rupp's getting position down deep.
Stiglitz on the left of the lane to Rupp on the baseline. Air ball taken by Fitzmaurice. Sean may go all the way with this one. He lays it up, no good. Tap underneath by Carney is good.
Big 7-point with 5:22 to go. 59-52, Florida Southern.
Tampa's got a score on this possession. There's DeVoe at the baseline. Tries to force the ball off to Williams. Intercepted by Southern.
He traveled, Frank, down the baseline.
A wasted opportunity. On the right side, ball handled by Jason Shin. Shot taken, no good by Donnelly Terrell. It goes out of bounds. Tampa's ball, 59-52, Southern by 7. And again, Tampa has the opportunity. Starn moving down against Fitzmaurice. Slows things down.
That's the purpose, I think, of that. A little pressure there to slow it down a little bit. Take a little more time to get down the floor by Tampa.
That is Drexel DeVoe. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Not a good percentage shot in that case. And it's Carney with the ball for Southern. DeVoe is injured on the floor, doubled up. Drexel DeVoe may have taken a blow to the stomach. Wind knocked out of him. At any rate, time is called. And
Tampa's gone cold these last 8 or 9 minutes. Here we have a replay on it. Kearney's underneath with Sheehan. Oh, yeah, he actually came off balance. He got a knee as he fell down. Those things hurt.
Full court pressure right now by Tampa as Dean tries to bring the ball out.
4:19 to go.
That is Chris Henry on Dean. John Buckley. 4:10 on the clock. Buckley in trouble for a moment, gets it to Tyrell. He shoots, no good. And rebounded by Stiglitz of Tampa.
Kearney nearly had a beautiful tip.
Starnes brings it down, goes all the way, shoots and scores.
And needed that. The little guy went through the whole bit down the baseline and brought it back within 5.
59-54, 3:45 left to go in the game. John Buckley in possession. Starnes out to meet him. Starnes steals. He may get another one here. He just misses it, no whistle. Carney rebounds and the Stiglitz fouls Carney after the rebound.
Stiglitz went into Kearney after the shot was missed.
That'll be the 5th on Stiglitz. Boy, a golden opportunity there, and Starnes could not make the layup.
There he goes. He's kind of looking. He might have heard some footsteps, Frank.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He might have heard some footsteps, but he had the open shot and just blew it.
The footsteps were Michael Dean. So a golden opportunity there for the Tampa Spartans. Goes by the boards. They trail by 5.
Could have brought it back to 3. Lots of time.
Stiglitz out of the game. They will have Williams, Henry, Rupp, Starnes. And they're looking for the 5th man to come out on the floor. He has not made his appearance yet. Who's it going to be? It'll be Moraski. That's who it'll be. I don't believe Schmidt wants to play the rest of the game with 4 men, so he finally sends Moraski out.
Moraski needs to give him a good 3-minute 32 effort here. He's capable.
Carney will go to the line. He hits the first one. 60-54.
He's a clutch player. I've seen him do this for 3 years. Go to the line, this crucial time of the game, and make his free throws.
There's Drexel DeVoe back in the ball game. Out of Miami's Jackson High School. No good. Tyrell on the rebound. 2.
That's better than a miss.
62-54. Starnes.
That's a big bucket, Frank.
Yes, it was a big bucket. 3:15 left to go. Rupp out high. DeVoe to the line, puts it up, and is fouled as he put it in the air. He'll go to the line for a pair. Foul is on Jason Shin. It'll be his 2nd personal. And now Bill Buckley will check back in for Florida Southern, and Jason Shin will go to the bench. Shin, a 6'6" sophomore from Lakeland High School. 62-54 Southern. He got the spin, and it went in for DeVoe. 62-55. He makes them both.
Needed those.
And now Carol Dopwell will come in for Tampa. Timeout on the court with 3:09 left to go. A 6-point lead for Southern. We'll be back with the final of 3:09 after this. Sunshine State Conference action. Be sure to tune in Sports Channel Florida Wednesday, April 12th when we kick off our Sunshine State baseball coverage. The Monarchs of St. Leo College will take on the Tritons of Eckerd College in a Sunshine State Conference baseball game.
What's he doing?
What is going on over there?
I was just looking at that area over there. I don't know. The athletic director, University of Tampa, was talking to Jack Hubbard, one of the officials.
All right, Schultz having a final word with his Florida Southern Moccasins. They are on the verge of wrapping up the Sunshine State Conference men's title. Tampa has made only 3 of its last 19 shots from the floor. How about that? Only 3 of its last 19 shots.
They have really gone cold.
Stone cold in the market.
But there's still time.
Dean, Buckley. They'll eat up as much time as they can here. Now Dean
They're spreading it out.
Passes off to John. Yep.
That was the reason for the timeout, Frank.
So underneath, and Tyrell shoots. He misses, but he's fouled. A foul is called at any rate. And the foul is going to be on Tyrell, on Donnelly Tyrell, and Tampa will go to the line.
Here's the replay. Tyrell goes up. Did they call a charge on that? No, he came down. This is... He follows through the shot and falls in. The only thing you can figure, he falls into Rupp.
Well, that's what they called him for, and they send Rupp to the line. He hits, and he'll shoot again. 62-57. Very important shot here. No. Carroll Doppwell, as he went for the rebound, he's fouled.
Doppwell had control of the ball.
John Buckley draws the foul.
John goes into him.
Chris Henry at the scorer's table. And Doppwell will go to the line. Doppwell, not a bad free throw shooter, in the 70% range. Oh, he does not get the bounce. And Kearney rebounds. Florida Southern with the ball and the lead and the clock in their favor.
I don't believe Tampa has seen this streak as cold this year. They've been shooting over 50% as a team for the season.
No, if they had seen the cold streaks like this any oftener this year, they wouldn't have won 23 games and be here where they are. Bill Buckley.
Of course, you got to give a defense credit, Frank.
Oh, yes.
When you go cold, there's got to be some reasons, and one reason is good defense. We remarked Florida Southern is the leading defensive team in the conference. That's 68 points a game.
Bill Buckley on the line with 2.5 minutes to go. No. Starnes rebounds for Tampa. Spartans need to score on this possession. DeVoe forces one up. It is no good. A whistle and the foul will be on DeVoe, I believe. If so, it'll be his 4th. Nope, it's his 5th. 5th personal on Drexel DeVoe, and he's out of the game. Meanwhile, Bill Buckley does a little house cleaning. John Buckley will go to the line. 62-57 with 2:23.
He's going to bring Doppwell back in the ball game to replace
DeVoe.
DeVoe, yeah.
John Buckley to the free throw line. George Schultz goes back, sits down at his bench. Buckley hits. That's a big one. 63-57, a 6-point lead for Southern. Both teams coming in with records of 23-5. Both teams 9-3 in the conference. No. Rebound, Rupp. Starnes with the ball. Williams for 3. Oh, good.
Time he needed.
And a timeout called. With Florida Southern leading 6-3, 6-0. We'll see if that trifecta by Williams turns things around, and we'll be right back. The scores, we are down to the final 2 minutes of play. Bob Bonata, you have coached and been athletic director and commissioner of basketball athletic conferences all over the country. Bradley, Oral Roberts, Ohio Valley, Missouri Valley. Do you see any more competitiveness than what we have seen here in this ball game tonight?
Not really, Frank. I think you can say that pretty well throughout the conference. I came here 3 years ago. I've been in Division I all my life. I didn't know what to expect Division II, but there's no difference. Competition is just as tough. There's just as much pressure on, and it's just great basketball. Very, very well balanced conference here. 3 teams, 20-plus wins. All right, it is Southern with the ball. Dean, he may go all the way. He may put it up. He does, and scores. Little guy can do it. He can go from one end to the other real quick. Coast to coast. Michael Dean, 65-60, Southern leading. Williams tries for 3, no. Whistle. And the foul will be against Tampa. Stopwell, I believe, moved in too close on him. No, no foul. No foul. Ball will be passed in by Rupp. And now a foul. This time it is Bill Buckley. This is no place to foul by Florida Southern. That's such an unnecessary foul there. With a 5-point lead, you foul on the pass in. That's his 5th. He's fouled out of the game. Bill Buckley is gone. Let's see who Schultz will call on. Fitzmaurice, I believe. Sean Fitzmaurice. Both these teams will go to the NCAA Southern Regional.
We think,
yeah.
Well, if they don't, you better ask for a recount.
We're going to have to do that.
You better ask for a recount if they don't.
We would like to get FIT in, you know, and I think they are deserving. There's no doubt about it, but pretty difficult to get 3 teams out of one conference in Division II.
Williams at the line. 65-61. Where are the Southern Regionals to be played?
Well, this we won't know probably next week.
Okay.
I know Tampa and Florida Southern have put in a request, as well as Jacksonville State in the other conference, which is in the South region.
All right. 65-62, 3-point lead for Florida Southern. This would be a nice place to hold them, right?
Yeah, I really would. This is a nice area.
All right, Southern with the ball and the lead. And Michael Dean.
I say Tampa's done a great job in hosting this too, Frank.
Dean shoots no good. Murawski rebound. Tampa's ball. Trailing by 3. 1:30 to go. Starnes puts it up. Scores! A 1-point lead. 1:23 to go.
New ball game. Here we
go. Full court
go.
Pressure on Dean. He gets it across to Fitzmaurice, and he is fouled by Starnes. Foul on Kevin Starnes.
It was not an intentional foul. He did give a cross arm signals, but there's no doubt about the foul. 1-1.
That's his 4th personal. And Fitzmaurice to the line. Excellent free throw shooter.
Now here's the replay of it, Frank. Now this is Starnes moving in, getting his basket. Beautiful move. He had all kinds of moves.
Fitzmaurice hit a 2-point lead for Southern.
Well, guy goes to the line. He hasn't played that much, but he's cool.
That's George Schultz. I don't see how a basketball coach survives. Off the rim, no good. Out of bounds, whose ball? It is Southern's ball, and they'll call time. Florida Southern has the ball. They will call time. Who will determine, Bob Bonata, whether only the winner of this game will go to the NCAA regional, or if the loser will also be invited. Is there a committee?
Oh, yeah. This is automatic. Whoever wins this is automatically in. And, of course, the runner-up, or the team who loses tonight, should be there. Yeah, there is an NCAA committee of Division II made up of 6 members. And they meet on a conference call every Tuesday morning after the advisory group meets earlier that morning. And this has to do with ratings and so forth. But it's up to the National NCAA committee of 6 people to make the determinations of who goes and also to where those sites will be. So that will be done. Well, we'll have a call next Tuesday on the final ratings, but I don't know whether the determination of sites will be made then.
Are any of those committee members here tonight?
Excuse me?
Well, I think we're going to have a replay first.
All right.
My question, now here it is.
Now, this is Starnes' move again. He moves around 3 people, all kinds of brilliant lefts and rights, and scores. Of course, he comes down right after that and makes a foul, puts him on the line again.
Now, my question was, are any of those 6 committee members here tonight to see these 2 teams?
No.
That's unfortunate. I would think perhaps they will be here.
The only thing is they have an advisory meeting before the national call every Tuesday. I am on that. I have a voice, but there's also 2 other people, 3 people altogether.
John Buckley could not pass the ball in and call timeout to keep from turning the ball over. So a timeout charge to Florida Southern. Of course, the other 5 committee members would say, well, hey, it's your conference. No, we know why you're pushing to get both teams in, or all 3 if you include FIT.
Of course, this conference has had a history of doing well in the national tournament. For example, last year, Florida Southern went 3rd place. They won the national one year, and our teams have done well each year. So this is one of the tougher regions of the 8 regions in the country.
Let me ask you one final question about the Sunshine State Conference. You now have 7 schools, right?
7 schools, right.
Yeah. Are you looking for an 8th to balance things out?
Well, yeah, we would like to have an 8th, but we really don't see anything on the rising as for that 8th Division II school. See, there's not many Division II people in the state.
Okay.
In fact, there's only 8. Florida Atlantic is the other Division II. They were considered, but have not been accepted. Were not accepted at that time.
All right, we're back to action. Fitzmars, 1:09 left to go. Buckley, Dean, they've got the little man, the ball handler's in there, and Williams commits the foul. Foul on Williams. Fitzmars to the line.
Might have been a little head checking by Brian.
Schultz calls his men over for a quick word. There is no timeout. Here's Starnes back in for Chris Henry.
Made 2 very important free throws. Dean can put them down.
It was Dean who was fouled, right. Dean to the line. Miss. Rupp, rebound. Gives it to Starnes. 1 minute. A 2-point lead for Southern. Tampa has the ball.
This is where the 3-point play has become so important.
Down to the wire. What will they do? Will they go for 3?
I believe they'll go inside, or else Williams take the 3-point. I believe they'll go inside and try to get a bucket with maybe a foul on it.
I think so.
Possibly to Rupp.
Starnes. They got Rupp and Morosky both underneath, and Starnes calls time. They have 1 left. Timeout Tampa. So now,
I believe if they cannot get the ball into Rupp for a possible 3-point, that is a foul with a foul, and desperation. No, I wouldn't say desperation, but they may kick that ball back out to Williams and let him go with a 3-pointer, Frank.
Now Schultz has his man gathered around his side down there.
Well, the big thing right now is to tie the ball game.
Well, we talk about these schools, and we'll tell you again, Florida Southern won the ladies' championship.
Norm Venn did a good job. He came back from a bad defeat at Rollins, and of course wins tonight. They had split 2 games, and of course Florida Southern women came back and won the odd game.
We talk about the head coaches so much. Richard Smith, ably assisted by Don Bostic. Bostic was his assistant coach at Vanderbilt. Bostic played under Schmidt as a player. Joe Nyland is also an assistant on the Tampa staff. And for Florida Southern, George Schultz is very ably assisted by Gordon Gibbons.
Gordon's had a lot of experience in all levels of basketball. He's a good coach within his own right.
All right, the ball, Tampa's possession, 33 seconds. They need 2 to tie. That is Williams, guarded by Dean. Brings it out, back to Starnes, 23 seconds, 3 to shoot. He does not make it, and that could be the ball game. As Tyrell comes off of the ball, a tied up ball, but a foul.
There is a foul. I was going to say it was just a tie ball. It would favor Tampa because the arrow is pointing that way. But they're going back to the line. That is Florida Southern.
Florida Southern will go to the line with Donnelly Tyrell going to the line. This could ice it. 18 seconds. If he makes the 2, he'll shoot a 1-and-1.
He needs to make both of them. That takes it out of the ream of the three-pointer, Frank.
He is close to an 80% free throw shooter.
They're going to ice him a little bit.
Yep, as Tampa will call a timeout, using their last timeout to make Tyrell think about it. Well, we've enjoyed basketball in the Sunshine State Conference this year, Bob Bonata. We will enjoy baseball. I believe Sports Channel Florida will do 6 baseball games in your conference. And how do you feel about the growth of the conference in the 3 years that you have been here? I know that's sort of putting you on a spot to say that, but we just want to find out.
Well, I think the conference had a tremendous foundation with people like Dick Pace at one time as supervisor and a commissioner acting. And then, of course, Norm Kay was the executive director prior to my coming. I think they all did a great job. And, of course, you got to give a lot of credit to the athletic directors of our various members. They are an executive committee. And they're the ones that actually make policy with the governance of our presidents, of course. So I think the foundation for a tremendous conference growth coming in the future has been laid very well by those people. Coming into conference myself as commissioner, of course, first full-time commissioner, we've had a lot to do, and we've enjoyed it. But they still have a long way to go.
All right, here is Donnelly Tyrell at the line.
Pressure free throws, Frank. This is what it's all about right here. Either do or don't.
He does not. Rebound. Doppwell. Tampa's ball. They trail by 2.
And do not have a timeout, I don't believe.
No, they don't have a timeout. 12 seconds. Starnes to Williams. They want Williams to take the shot. He takes it. He hits. He hits. Is it good? Is it good or not? No sign. Is it good? I have not seen a sign from the referee. Nobody knows. Nobody will say.
The ball went in, but did it count? One official holding up 2 fingers. Now, that's a shooting foul. So there's the replay on it. We can see what we have, but we don't know what the officials call.
I did not see them signal.
The goal counted at 66 to 66. Free throw could win it.
He'll go to the line with 3 seconds and a tie game. Brian Williams. And now they'll try to ice him as Florida Southern calls a timeout. 3 seconds left. Whew. Wow.
Here we go. Here's another look on it, Frank. It goes from Starnes to Williams. He's making his move. He comes back around and makes a tremendous shot. But wow, he was off balance and everything else boomed in, and of course foul on the shot.
It was not a three-pointer, of course. You could see his feet had crossed the circle line. And I was just waiting as they blew a whistle on it for one of the officials to give me a sign, and I did not see it if he did give it. But the basket is good. The score is tied, 66-66.
That was Williams' 19th point, so he's coming close to his season average of 22.2. But we couldn't get a signal on it, could we?
No, I did not see one, and
I'm not being critical official, but I was looking for that signal, and of course, I guess there wasn't any doubt the goal counted because it wasn't necessary.
When a whistle blows right at the goal, right as the shot is made, you have to look to the official to let you know whether or not the whistle had blown before he released the ball or after he released the ball.
And also another possibility could have been he was fouled before he even got into his act of shooting, because he guarded very, very closely. There's a possibility he was fouled for the shot, but not in this case.
This could be the championship of the Sunshine State Conference. He hit, and Tampa leads by 1. Tampa leads by 1.
Georgia Southern calls a timeout,
And Florida Southern takes its last timeout.
All right, now there's 3 seconds on the clock. There's been a lot of ball games won and lost within 3 seconds. But they've got to get that ball to the 10-second line fast. Whether they do that with 2 passes or try to go with a long pass, that's something else to be seen. But I'll guarantee they're working on something over on the Florida Southern bench right now. And I've always said we've got 2 of the best bench coaches in Richard Smith and George Schultz there is around. They can go with those X's and O's.
Well, if you're a Florida Southern fan, who do you want to take the shot for you?
Well, you know what? If they had the time, but see, they don't really have that much time. If they could get the ball down, I would say they'd go inside to Kearney. But you see, I don't think they've got that much time. 1 pass in and the clock starts.
Clock will start as soon as the ball is touched by the inbounds man. There's the story right there. Tampa by a point.
Matter of fact, I believe there's a correction on that. I think now the ball, as the ball crosses the line, the clock starts.
Okay.
Let's see if it does.
It will be John Buckley.
All right, the long pass is what's in order.
Down, the shot by Tyrell. And the shot is good by Tyrell.
Unbelievable.
And Florida Southern wins it.
Unbelievable.
Tyrell, I can't believe the ending.
That is unbelievable.
Donnelly Tyrell wins it at the final buzzer.
That was an off-balance shot that all it did was bounce in.
I can't believe it. Neither can the Tampa folks, neither can the Florida Southern folks.
The long pass passed over the 10-second line from Buckley right into Terrell's hand. They had 3 people down there on Florida Southern. They threw it right in the group, and of course, Ty Ryder was the one who received it and threw it in.
Donnelly Tyrell, a junior from Pompano Beach, Ely High School, is the final hero tonight. But credit John Buckley with the pass that got to him from the end line all the way to forecourt. Here it is.
Richard Smith has got to say, what do I have to do to win? Because they had it going.
There he is, number 32. There's his shot.
There it is. And you know, that was a 3-point play.
No.
Was it not?
No. No, he was inside the circle, Bob. And the final score.
Here's the official that called it the 2-point. Well, they didn't need it.
The final score is Florida Southern 68, Tampa 67. It was a 2-point play. The final score is 68-67. Florida Southern wins it on the last second shot by Donnelly Tyrell. And a very happy George Schultz being congratulated. There's Tyrell being hugged by one of the Buckley twins. There's the final score again. Florida Southern wins it on the last second shot by Donnelly Tyrell, 68-67. The executive producer for tonight's game has been Jeff Gentner. Our game produced by Harlan Singer. Directed by Rick Rafer. Remote facilities provided by WCJB Channel 20. Transmission by Calhoun Satellite Communications. And now for Bob Bonata, the commissioner and coach, I'm Frank Messer, saying good night from the Martinez Sports Center. Once again, the final score was Florida Southern 68, the University of Tampa 67. Right now, stay tuned for Sun Belt Conference action. Good night, everybody.
Trying to get loose for a backhand, and they score!
The saves. The checks. The interviews.
The star of the game, your feelings about the game.
Well, I don't think it had to be as close as it was.
The stories.
They call it the trade of the century. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
Nobody covers the NHL like Sports Channel.
Vince Wilson shows you what playing point guard is all about. Alert defensively. His head is up. He's off to the races. He finds the cutting Chris Cheeks. Excellent timing on that alley-oop. A guard to guard. Usually that play, Garrett, goes from guard to big man.
Variation. 11:55 to go. Dolphins by 3. Lionel Bacon to Martin Henlon. Vince Wilson. Good defense, D. Brown. Really is a defensive stopper, D. Brown is.
Along with a 20-point average. Not bad for a player.
Going to get a moving screen on Horace Scruggs, number 22. That is his first foul. You know, I think the reason they're not playing D. Brown on Chris Cheeks is that he's too important to the team. They don't want to get him in foul trouble because he is their defensive stopper.
I think that's a very good point. He averages 20 a game. You don't want to wear him out defensively, chasing Chris Cheeks, because you have to have something. Let him say something for the offensive end.
This is Brown.
Look at the pressure defensively by VCU, really getting after the ball.
Curtis Taylor. Taylor, a good athlete. And the Dolphins continue to maintain their lead, now by 5.
Watching that sequence, I thought maybe the defensive pressure by VCU would take Jacksonville out of their continuity, but it didn't. It resulted in a nice pass.
Martin Henlon was fouled on the inside. I think it was Gilbert that got him.
D. Brown from behind, I believe, Gary.
Second foul on Gilbert. Mike Polio is so much less animated this year. D. Brown was the man who got called for the foul than in the past.
Well, considering all the things, particularly the death of one of his players, that has to take an awful lot out of you.
And he says that's why he's leaving. That's why this is his last year. I really felt, and he was under fire at VCU, and I really felt it was terribly, terribly unfair because he followed J.D. Barnett, who did an incredible job there, but Polio's done a great job there, too. It's just tough to take a Sun Belt team to the NCAA tournament year after year.
Oh, no question about it, because the league is so well balanced.
Right.
Mike Polio, a very successful coach in his own right, in a tough situation. But the death of one of your players makes you put your priorities a little more in order, maybe.
Sonny Smith's been mentioned for that job, the Auburn coach, although Smith is denied it. D. Brown misses. And Curtis Taylor's going to hit another one, and the Dolphins open up a 7-point lead.
Curtis Taylor just scrapping, picking up the loose ball. Now the Dolphins beaten twice by the Rams, coming out very aggressively.
Lionel Bacon can't hit. That one was off Curtis Taylor, but we may get a foul. Let's see.
Scramble for the ball after the missed shot. Bacon going for the ball. I thought that was a pretty good call. A little contact, but no one's progress was impeded.
Martin Henlon hits from the inside, one of the Twin Towers. It's 22-17, Jacksonville.
Henlon did a good job there. When he turned, he didn't put the ball on the floor and check it for air. He kept it up where he needs to keep it and scored easily.
Mike Polio will tell you that Martin Henlon has improved more than any player that's ever played under him anywhere. Taylor misses Henlon, rebounds, foul against Gilbert. That's number 3, and that really could be important.
Henlon took up good position on the weak side, so that shot went up, and he was in a perfect spot. Gilbert got caught behind, so he goes over the top. Watch the position Henlon has. Excellent position for weak side rebounding. Gilbert maybe, Gary, should have let that one go by. Take a pass on that rebound.
Well, I apologize for the mistake. Only the second foul on Gilbert, and Aldrich, who also has 2 fouls, comes on. We're also going to see Tyrone Boykin for the first time, replacing Pat Laguerre. Boykin and Laguerre battled for the point guard job with this team for a couple of years, and finally Laguerre won the job this year, and Boykin's a reserve off the bench.
Boykin, a very quick player at 6 foot.
Jacksonville by 5. We're a little bit more than midway through the first half.
Both teams still really playing 3 guards each.
This is Boykin. Curtis Taylor. Down to 21 seconds on the shot clock.
Jacksonville has done an excellent job so far, really using that clock in critical points in the game. They'll push it up and get a quick shot, then they'll settle down and play it on the half court.
D. Brown had it blocked cleanly by Martin Henlon, but Brown got it back and threw it right to Chris Cheeks. Rejection by Reggie Law, and they call the foul.
I think Reggie really had a shot at blocking that successfully. Should have maybe let this one go by. Cheeks way out in front of everybody. Oh, I'll tell you what. From another angle, let's take a look at it and see if there's any body contact, lower body contact by Reggie Law. There isn't any foul on the arm?
A little bit.
There certainly wasn't a foul on the arm.
No, a little bit of body contact, but had they let it go, I don't think either one of us would be complaining.
That's true.
Of course, they don't ask our opinions either. Derek Borden comes on, and for good reason. Horace Scruggs leaves. Cheeks looking for his 15th point. Reggie Law on the boards. Dolphins have had the lead throughout this first half. They've got it by 4 right now.
Derek Borden, a relief man, bangs and knocks inside. Physical type player.
Tyrone Boykin.
Jacksonville spreading the floor, playing an open middle. The paint is open, trying to cut some people through there.
They've been fairly efficient offensively. In fact, more than that, very efficient.
A lot of movement, a lot of good movement.
D. Brown a little too quick that time for Vince Wilson.
What all that movement does, Gary, is wears you down defensively. And then when the defensive team goes into a lapse situation, the offensive team takes it to the hole and tries to capitalize.
Reggie Law has really played well. Didn't hit that one. Look at the aggression on the boards, though. And, you know, you could liken the Jacksonville effort on the boards here to Western Kentucky's effort against UNC Charlotte in the last ball game. That was a little more impressive, only because it was on Charlotte's home court.
And in the second half, when they were trailing, Reggie Law quick to the basket and quick off his feet.
But Jacksonville really doing a nice job aggressively on the boards.
And going in, we mentioned that that was one thing they would have to do against this twin tower of Henlon and Ford.
Law, the 74% shooter, didn't get that one. Lionel Bacon for 3. And we're looking at a one-point game.
Bacon's a guy who really didn't have a lot of confidence, they say, last year, but this year that confidence has really grown. He's not afraid to raise up out there at the three-point line and shooting the ball very well.
His first points of the ball game. Down to 8:07 to go, first half. 1-point game, Dolphins lead.
Here's an example of this movement by the Jacksonville Dolphins.
Tyrone Boykin, great pass to Curtis Taylor. And off the scramble, Reggie Law has been coming up with the loose balls all night.
Was that a shot? Reggie pivoting, really was cut off and just looked like he threw the ball up there. Nothing but nets.
10 points for Reggie Law. Dolphins by 3. And Mike, I don't know. We've had 3 that have gone down to the wire, and this one certainly doesn't show any indications of being a lot different.
Certainly doesn't. That time, Vince Wilson, the point guard, was the shooter.
D. Brown. A little too much spin. Look at Brown hustle back. It's going to be VCU ball, I think. Yes. Jacksonville's played aggressively, but Chris Cheeks has had a big first half, and as a result, we are very even. Jacksonville by 1 with that much time remaining.
You'd think it would be easy to find a high-quality small sedan that's reliable, durable, and comfortable. And maybe it is. But to find one that's also sophisticated enough to be all kinds of fun to drive, well, that's a little harder to find. But I can save you a lot of chasing around. All you gotta do is corner a Mazda 323. Mazda 323, a small sedan, the Mazda way.
Coming this November, for the first time in Florida, the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship at Gulfstream Park for one spellbinding day. The world's greatest thoroughbreds and jockeys go head-to-head in an international summit. The Breeders' Cup, November 4th. Be part of Gulfstream's Ultimate Racing Weekend, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Gulfstream, Florida's super track.
While we've got a moment, we want to remind you that the announcers for this game have been contracted for and approved by the Sun Belt Conference. Any use, rebroadcast, or other transmission of this game without the written consent of the Sun Belt Conference and Creative Sports Marketing is prohibited.
I couldn't play by 5:30 Wednesday morning. I called it.
The bigger guys away from the basket, Gary, which opens up penetration by some of the guards that Jacksonville has, and they play 3 at one time.
Only 10 seconds on the shot clock. Curtis Taylor. Here comes VCU. They've got the numbers.
The gear back quickly.
Cheeks couldn't make it work, but the follow by, was it Eric Alford? No, Lionel Bacon.
Yeah. Smallest player out there on the floor right now for VCU. Good nose for the ball.
Laguerre now running the show with Boykin out. Curtis Taylor.
Oh, had a backdoor cut. Laguerre stopped.
Easy one for Vince Wilson. And the Rams have their biggest lead by 5. Vince Wilson with 4 points.
That time Taylor saw the back door. Laguerre didn't and stopped. The pass went astray.
Aldridge goes to D. Brown. Haven't heard much from Brown offensively of late.
Been quiet really most of the first half for a guy averaging 20 a game.
One of the reasons certainly that the Rams are up by 5. Because the Dolphins have not been able to quiet his counterpart, Chris Cheeks.
Jacksonville now a little out of sync. They were successful going to their big guys, and they stopped doing that. And they haven't scored in a while.
Laguerre is going to get a couple of free throws. Second personal foul on Chris Cheeks. Every one they get on him's got to bring a little bit of a smile to the face of Rich Haddad.
Isn't that the truth? That they could, Jacksonville could pin one on him now in the next minute or two, set him down, and then look at Chris Cheeks starting the second half with 3. Jacksonville could definitely be sitting in a good situation.
Well, Mike Polio's not going to let it happen. He took him out and brought on Derek Tompkins. Good move by Mike Polio. It's, he's got a 5-point lead, a little bit of a cushion, and he's not going to lose his key man.
No sense in wasting that 3rd foul right now. Now Jacksonville, on the other hand, with Cheeks out, may be an opportunity for them to cut into this lead, possibly overtake the Rams. Let's see what they do offensively.
This is Vince Wilson. Poor defense that time by Jacksonville.
It really was. We just talked about Cheeks being out. Doesn't phase the Rams at all. Vince Wilson, open path to the basket.
Reggie Law makes the move right past Eric Alford and drew the foul as well.
That's what Jacksonville did so well to start the game. They moved Law out on the floor. They let him